The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
You're now tuned into a Planet Fanatics production.
I am the Senate. Do it. Do it. What's going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up, fellow fanatics? It's been a while. It's been some time since I have done a solo stream. It's been some time since I've seen you guys. It's been some time since we've talked. There's been some things that have definitely gone on since the last time that we all hung out, the last time that we all talked. So yeah, I appreciate everybody being patient with me. I appreciate all the love that was sent my way, all the condolences sent my way as well. I appreciate you guys keeping me in the know. There were a lot of you guys sending me messages and things asking, when am I coming back, or are you going to talk about this, or there's this to talk about, or whatever. So I appreciate it. I really do. I've been seeing everything. I'm very much active on Twitter for those of you that have seen. So I've been seeing everything. There's definitely a lot to go over. So I picked just 4 topics for today that I felt were the most pressing ones over the course of time that I have missed. So we'll go over those. And of course, I'll be back. I do plan to be back this week. This is my first week back, so I'll be back tomorrow and on, what is today, Tuesday? Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for Wednesday. They'll be back Thursday to join Chill and Marcus, and then then we'll repeat. I'll be back. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, Naries. Appreciate it, Xavier. I'm not sure on that one. I'm gonna say 9234. I appreciate you on that, SJ. Appreciate it. And then definitely appreciate you on the very first super there. So we can get into everything. Let me address the super though first. Paul, the true believer 5930 says, bro, I've been waiting for you to shed light on this ridiculous casting situation. Yeah, Paul, I did definitely see it. So we'll definitely talk about Mr. David Johnson and the position that he now holds as Marvel's, or the MCU rather, Black Panther. So we'll talk about that. Raymond, I appreciate it. Nova, appreciate you being here. And Chi-Town, respect and prayers to you and yours, brother. Thank you for giving us a show today. I appreciate you guys for being here today. So again, appreciate all you guys for being patient. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. There's some things that I definitely want to talk about. One of the things being the deal that has been going around. Let me go ahead and switch to that. Actually, the deal that's been going around about Marvel being this one, this picture here. This is the picture that is going around. And it is people saying Marvel doesn't care about black people. Wonder Man season 2 canceled. Blade 7 years in development. Black Captain America sidelined. Armor Wars black lead being swapped out for Iron Man movie. Moon Girl canceled. Monica, where the fuck is she? So all valid, all valid criticisms and questions there. These are things that we, if you've been here or you've watched myself either just with me or watch me with Chill or watch me with Marcus, you know that these are things that we've talked about. These are things that are definitely discussed as far as Marvel's treatment of black characters. And with their treatment of black characters, we've seen, as we've said before, the recast of T'Challa movement really, for me, is where it really started as far as seeing the treatment of black characters from Marvel Studios and the things that they do and the things that they don't do, the characters that get highlighted. I've said many times, if you are a hero that has blonde hair and blue eyes, then you would get treated with the respect and things that because they would never, for example, using that in context to recast T'Challa, they would never have done anything like they're doing with T'Challa to Captain America. As you see, Chris Evans is returning, meaning seeing that Sam Wilson is getting the sideline. Now, I'm not a fan of Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson. I'm also not a fan of Sam Wilson in the role of Captain America. However, I cannot I can't unsee what is being seen. I see the same things that they're seeing. I see the same thing as of Captain America or Sam Wilson's Captain America being sidelined. Kevin Feige himself told you that. It's a quote I wish I had pulled up, but I didn't pull it up. You can Google it yourself, though. He did say this. He said one of the reasons that Captain America 4 failed was because it did not have Chris Evans. And by saying that, again, as it's what Chill says, temporary placement, and I may not be saying that temporary representation. Rather, I'm sorry, temporary representation. He said many times, as some of you have said many times, that Chris Evans is going to come back, and when he comes back, or if rather not be Chris Evans, a white Captain America himself is going to come back and take over that spot. This is only going to be temporary. That is why I remember when Anthony Mackie had said that there's a 10-year plan of him being Captain America. I don't think so. I said that, I laughed then. I don't think so. And one of the other things, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going here because I've missed so much, but it feeds into what I'm saying. One of the other things here at San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige also confirmed doing his interview with Josh Horowitz, who asked Kevin Feige some very, very good questions in that interview. But he asked him about the reboot. Is it a reboot? Is it a blah, blah, blah? And then I think, not verbatim here, but Kevin Feige basically said it is a reboot, but it's not a reboot. And it's going back to what I have been saying for the longest. And I remember arguing, I don't know if it was arguing with Marcus about this or arguing with one of my co-hosts about it. And I believe some of you even in chat about it. The reboot was always, I think it was Marcus, because it was in context to us arguing about how I felt the recasting of T'Challa was going to be held if there ever was a recasting of T'Challa, which led us into the soft reboot. And I've always said that the reboot is not a reboot like a lot of people were thinking it was going to be. The reboot was simply giving you characters that you did not have before. We didn't have the X-Men in our universe. Well, now within the soft reboot, I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, they've already introduced Jean, so with them introducing Jean and Brand New Day, you would have to assume Charles is out there somewhere and X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. So we'll get them within the soft reboot. You get the Fantastic Four within the soft reboot, and any other characters that we did not previously have in our universe that may be entering into our universe via Secret Wars or Doomsday or whatever may have you, will now be in our universe. Now, there may be some other tweaked things a part of that soft reboot, but I have long since said, and again, it's stupid. I don't agree with it. I don't accept it at all. I still am screaming recast T'Challa, and we're not jumping to recast T'Challa. It's a part of the Black heroes and things like that. But I've long since said that was something that they weren't going to touch in their soft reboot. When it came to Wakanda, when it came to T'Challa, when it came to those things, they might age up that child, but we also don't know how time is going to work after Secret War. Something may happen with time to where they age up I don't know. I don't know. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but we'll see. But um, I've long since said that the Wakanda story, Ryan Coogler's story, is not something that's going to be rebooted. It's not something that they stood 20 toes down on in Wakanda Forever. Knowing the hashtag, Nate Moore said they knew about the hashtag, and all this kind of, Lapita even told us doing the hashtag to so it's not as if they didn't know about what the fandom or a section of the fandom, and it seems like even now a larger section of the fandom was wanting at one point in time. They were very much aware of it, but they stood 20 toes down on this on the movie that we were told that they gave over to Ryan to make the decision on how he wanted to handle Chad's death. With that, it never made sense to me narratively. It never made sense. And I know a lot of people said, well, Darius Kevin could go in there and tell him, hey, this is that. I never believed that. I never believed that. Because if they were willing to give him the decision, maybe I am going on recast right now. I don't know. But if they were willing to if they were willing to make the decision to him or give him the keys to making the decision of how Wakanda was going to be held, how Chad's death in relation to recasting T'Challa was going to be held in X, Y, and Z, then they were willing to let him stand 10 toes, 20 toes, 30 toes, however many toes down you want it to be on how Wakanda was going to be held even after the little reboot. I know a lot of people didn't want to see it, but the hints were there with X-Men 97, Bo DeMeo saying, that they had to call over to Ryan and say, could we use T'Challa to get a no? The people that were doing Marvel Zombies called over to Ryan and said, hey, can we use T'Challa? You can use him, but he's got to be quiet. So you're seeing the patterns here of having to go to Ryan Coogler because for whatever reason the MCU has given Ryan Coogler the keys to Wakanda, and from our standpoint we are saying for whatever reason, but from another from what I've seen too, and I've been watching and listening and watching a lot of different videos from people talking about this, seeing a lot of different tweets and comments and just whatever from different perspectives of people. So from our side of the fence, we are saying for whatever reason, Marvel has given Ryan Coogler the keys to Wakanda. But from some people's perspectives, it take away how we feel about Ryan Coogler and his decision about what he did to T'Challa. Ryan Coogler is a Oscar-winning director. Writing's always been there. Do I agree with the writing? Of course not. Of course I don't agree with the writing. I'm not saying that the hashtag stops. I was watching on Thursday when Chill asked that, does the hashtag stop? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe you stop the hashtag. I believe you still, scream recast T'Challa, because in a fictional world, fantasy world, anything can happen. They could still recast this character. This character could come back and all those kind of things. But staying on, because I'm going to come back to the overall point of what I'm making here, just with the stuff that's going on with this here of black characters and the absence of black characters. So like I said, it started with T'Challa, and we've now seen a trickle down effect. I have several videos that I've talked up where I've talked about the things being done with Mahershala Ali, and were they ever going to or were they ever going to start doing anything with Mahershala Ali as far as him being Blade? We've talked about the absence of Monica Rambeau and where she is, and how it makes absolutely zero sense that she is not one of the focal points of Doomsday. Doesn't make any sense to me. Out of the entire shit show that was the multiverse saga for the past 5 to 6 years, that X-Men post-credit scene in the Marvels was one of the best post-credit scenes that we had, that gave us any insight into what we could be seeing into Doomsday and blah blah blah, and kind of confirming the rumors of the X-Men going to the Fox X-Men going to be being a part of Doomsday. So the fact that Monica Rambeau is not possibly not going to be in Doomsday. You've got what Tiana Paris said here. Hold on, think that's on here. Actually, no, it's not on that one. You got what Tiana Paris said here. Oh, it's gonna switch again.
I miss Monica as much as you guys do. I wish her well, and I'm excited to see her.
So if you can't really hear it because all the noise in the background, she was asked, where is Monica? Or she says she misses Monica, or she misses Monica just as much as we all do, and wherever she is, she wishes her well. Now, again, she could be playing just like Andrew Garfield did the Wolf character, where it's like I know, but I don't know, and I'm not gonna say. She really could be in Doomsday, but there's also a rumor out there that her and let me make sure I'm getting this rumor right. According to this rumor, Monica Rambeau and her mother are allegedly set to die together thwarting some off screen incursions. We assume the events of the Marvels would be more directly tied into Doomsday, but this obviously wouldn't seem to be the case if Monica isn't even going to be a factor into the film. Even if this is accurate, both Rambos will almost certainly be back for Secret Wars, but if Marvel Studios does decide to kill two black female heroes off at the same time off screen, there will probably be some backlash. Like all rumors, it's best not to put too much stock into this, but let us know what you think of the potential development in the comments. So, if this is true, and Monica and Maria Photon are both killed off screen, thwarting some incursion, it does feed into the narrative that a lot of people have been catching on to. A lot of people have started to wake up to the fact that, Marvel Studios, as we've said many times, does not give a damn about black characters. They've shelved black characters. They've killed black characters. They've nerfed black characters. Black characters is not something that they put stock into over at Marvel Studios. Now, whatever they're planning to do with T'Child and however they're planning to, actually, I think I can take it even back to 2022 when we were saying it, when we found out that not found out, when we were preparing for Wakanda Forever and all the commentary that came before it. One of the things that I also remember saying, and a lot of others saying, is I believe that if the child is aged up and they do use this child and blah, 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 this was at that time in 2022, we said that, well, they're probably just going to take T'Challa's comic stories and just use them for this kid. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Exactly what they're going to do for the kid as far as he's concerned when it comes to. Now, as you know, I don't give a flying fuck about Wonder Man either. I think that it is fantastic that Wonder Man was canceled, and I know a lot of you in the comments do not agree with me. A lot of you in the comments really loved Wonder Man. I thought that Wonder Man was pointless. I thought that using Yaya as Wonder Man when he could have been used as any other black character that you've got sitting on a shelf, and I would have even really gone for the Blue Marvel, him playing Adam Bashir, or who were some of the other ones that someone said even Bishop or something like that would have really that, because I remember the fan art of him as Bishop. There were so many other avenues that you could have had him take, but we made him a white character in comics. Now, only reason I even give a damn about it is because it feeds into the black projects that are being canceled. This is a character who is white in comics, but in Marvel, in the MCU, Kevin Feige and them decided to make him black. So he fits right here with sidelined. He fits right here with where the fuck is she. He fits right here with canceled and canceled. So it is, again, this whole thing of which we've all known for a long time. Marvel just simply doesn't give a damn. They just simply don't give a damn. And again, if this is true that Monica Rambeau, it's already super, super weird that she is not being advertised, or she's not in the trailers, or that she was not with the X-Men. And we don't know this for sure. Maybe it's being a secret that's hidden from the trailers. But if she's not with the X-Men, that the Avengers from the current MCU timeline go and fight that we see them fighting in the trailer, she's not with those X-Men, then that just does not make sense to me. Now, again, the off-screen shit doesn't make sense. Maria not being with this group doesn't make sense. The fact that Tiana Paris and oh, I forget who plays Maria. The fact that both their names were not on the back of chairs doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for either one of them not to be in Doomsday. So again, it feeds into the narrative that everybody is now waking up to of black characters get zero respect over at Marvel Studios. And somebody that's not on here, Don Cheadle, Armor Wars. It's mentioned up here. It is mentioned up here in the tweet about Armor Wars Black Lead being swapped out for the new Iron Man movie, and that is the rumor. The rumor right now is that Armor Wars, which was in development, which went from a movie to a TV, or I think maybe it was a TV show first and a movie, was a movie first and TV show. I don't know. It was either TV show turned movie or movie turned TV show, whichever one it was. But it went through, so it went through hell. It went through. It was going to be this. It was going to be that. This was going to be the plot. These were going to be some of the villains that were going to be in. I think you had Crimson Dynamo was going to be one of the main villains that was going to be a part of the project and things like that. It was starring Don Cheadle. You might have had even some appearance or AI appearance or whatever from Robert Downey Jr. as Tony, but that show was also shelved and canceled. And now the rumor currently is that no, we are just redeveloping it. We are taking Armor Wars and we are going to make it into an Iron Man project for the soft reboot, which again feeds into how Anthony Mackie said he was going to be Captain America in the MCU for the next 10 years. No, there's going to be, I don't think it's going to be Chris Evans, just like I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Iron Man. But it's, as Chill has said many times on his show, on our shows together, temporary representation. The time that we got Anthony Mackie as Captain America, the time that we got Yahya, and I'm not saying Yahya's done as Wonder Man. I don't believe he's done as Wonder Man. But the time that we got Yahya as Wonder Man, this was all time where Marvel was trying new things and trying to fit in with to check the boxes. They were trying to check the boxes. And I believe, again, we are past that time. We're past that time. If you look at what's going on right now as far as like TV shows, Disney Plus TV shows are now not in development. I think the last thing in development or the last thing that was filmed was Daredevil season 3. They've got nothing else now that Wonder Man is canceled outside of animation that is being developed live action side of things. And I think that's great. I think it's great. I don't think that they need to be doing live action things over at Disney Plus unless it's in a very obscure character. And even then, I don't know if that's even worth the money or people going to watch. People have shown you with Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we've said this many times as well, never believed in superhero fatigue. Never believed that people don't want to, watch superheroes, that people are not interested in these big spectacle films and things like that. Is people were sick of watching dumbass shows and dumbass movies like the Marvels. If you like the Marvels, great for you. The Marvels was shit. Thunderbolts was not that bad, but it still was not great. Fantastic Four was not great. Anthony Mackie, Captain America 4, terrible, shit, awful, on the ground, cut it up, shouldn't have even been in theaters. There was an empty theater. There was a theater that collapsed, but no one was in it because it was empty. No one cared about his film. No one cared about the show. No one cared about anything about him surrounding Captain America. The other projects, Hawkeye, Echo, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, all terrible projects that no one gave a fuck about. So people stopped showing up. People stopped showing up even at their homes, not tuning in. We were thinking, well, it's at home. People will watch because people stopped tuning in. No one cares. But people are showing you a Spider-Man Brand New Day that's already crossed $1 billion fucking dollars. Yeah, people care, but they only care about the things that they want to see, and those are the big heroes. And it's kind of the same thing that people keep arguing with me about with DC. I don't understand why. It's the same thing over the DC though as well. The big heroes, those are the things that people want to see. People keep trying to sell me on Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd. People keep trying to sell me on Clayface. People keep trying to sell me. No one cares about that stuff. I'm trying to tell y'all, no one cares. There is a small sector of you all that care about those obscure characters. I'm not saying I don't care about Clayface. I'm not saying I don't care about Jimmy Olsen or Gorilla Grodd. Not Gorilla Grodd, especially paired with Jimmy Olsen. But these people want to see the big guns. People want to see spectacle. People want to, and it's not being void of story. I'm so sick of the narrative of, oh, you don't like good storytelling. No. If the storytelling is absent of the superhero doing superhero shit, you're damn right I don't like that type of storytelling. No. The Spider-Man Brand New Day, was it a perfect movie? No, it's not a perfect film. However, it is a good story. There are things that I would have changed about it and things like that, but it's a good story. And not only is it a good story, you've got a good story matched with spectacle. You've got a good story matched with things that people want to see, matched with characters that people actually want to pay and see. Look at the box office. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Meanwhile, Supergirl made as much as Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. No one cared. No one cared. So we're living in it's not even living in a reality. Hollywood and people are being faced with the reality of, if you want to keep bringing in these directors and these writers that want to put their spin on things and want to do whatever it is they want to do, and want to have a Wonder Man, by the way, which was eight episodes where we saw him use his powers, I think 3 times maybe, broke a table, punched a head, flew out of a jail cell. You want to keep making shows like that? And you can say, well, guys, you can tell me what Darius said. Wonder Man was very successful. Wonder Man was this. Wonder Man wasn't the success that it could have been if you did a character that people really cared about. That's really what it boils down to. So that's why you've got sideline. I mean, you got nobody that showed up here, and they're realizing that. They're realizing that with this reboot, I think it might be a return to form more so than, hey, we're erasing and starting from ground zero like a lot of people thought they were doing, which, again, never believed that. Never believed that they were going to just completely erase things. They're going to change things that they didn't like, but they're going to keep foundational things like Wakanda. Wakanda is foundational for them. It's foundational for them. That is staked in the ground. So they're going to keep things like that. You're going to get the X-Men. You're going to get the Fantastic Four. You're going to get more stories with them. You're now getting Ghost and blah, 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 all those things. All those things are going to be in the MCU because now we've got all the keys, all the toys to play with, and we're going to play with them all. That's all it means. And I think, again, that means that he goes back to being whatever, if Anthony Mackie stays within the MCU, he goes back to being whatever it is he's going to be. Whether it be Falcon or whatever or whoever, but I do not believe he stays Captain America. I don't believe there's some 10-year plan with him as Cap, and if there was a 10-year plan with him as Cap, they woke up to that real quick and said, that's not going to make any fucking money, because it's not. It's not. And it really has nothing to do with, and again, I don't like Anthony Mackie as I think he's better as Sam Wilson. I don't like him I think he was better as Falcon, not as Captain America. Not the biggest fan of Anthony Mackie either, but I never liked in All New, All Different Marvel when in the Ultimates universe, when he was changed when we walked over and it was Sam Wilson's Captain America. I'm not a fan of that either. Never liked it. And the general audience over at Marvel that's watching these things doesn't really care for it either. So I don't believe that there's some 10-year plan where he's going to be Captain America. I think they're going to go back to having a white Captain America. Who that's going to be, I'm not sure. Same thing with this Iron Man project. If the rumors are true and Armor Wars is being reworked from a black James Rhodes, Don Cheadle led, which I said that even too a while back. I said, if they don't get Armor Wars going, it ain't as if Don Cheadle is pushing 30, pushing 40. Don Cheadle is what? What made Kevin Hart say, damn? Don Cheadle is 61. 61. So we're also fighting time here. Do you realistically, do you want to see a 61-year-old in the role of James Rhodes? I don't. Just like I don't want to see Wolverine continued on as Hugh Jackman. I don't care how jacked Hugh Jackman can get. I don't care how great in shape he looks. I don't care how many people bat their eyes when he still takes off his shirt. The man is too old to continue on as Wolverine. Same thing if for any of these other characters that they're clinging on to with these actors. I don't want to see a 61-year-old James Rhodes. So if you want, I'm not saying that that this needs to be reworked into an Iron Man project, though. I still would like a black-led project, but recast James Rhodes in the reboot. Recast him in the reboot. If you're changing things and flipping things anyway, it's not going to be some shock and awe to the audience if we show up to Armor Wars, a film or TV show or whatever, and it's a different actor that's not Don Cheadle. I don't want a 61-year-old James Rhodes. Just like how old is Mahershala? I know Mahershala's not 60. Mahershala is 52. And for what I want out of Blade, I don't want a 52-year-old Blade either. They wasted his time. And I'm going to get into his quote, but they wasted his time. The man worked, he said, spent a year doing sword training and all this kind of stuff and passed on movie roles and everything like that for Marvel to completely waste his time. So as I said, even before he even gave the quote and the insight that he gave on it, if I was Mahershala Ali, fuck you, I'd walk away too. I'd have been and walked away. I'd have been, and he probably did bend and walked away. This is the first time he probably just talked about it. It's the first time he did talk about it publicly. I'd have walked away too because you wasted my time. Not only did you waste my time, you seem to be wasting, now, I don't know. We don't know what's really going on behind the scenes, but you seem to be wasting Tiana Paris' time too. No Photon, which the Photon project was canceled. Now, I'm not saying that people would have tuned in to the Photon project. I'm not saying that. I really don't know. I really don't know. But had you done a Photon project maybe a little after WandaVision when she was introduced, you'd have had everybody's attention because you had everybody's attention at the drop of a dime anyway. That was at the time when Marvel was still on everyone's minds. People were doing I remember during WandaVision, it wasn't during WandaVision. It was after WandaVision. I believe it was even after Loki. I was doing a MCU watch with 3 friends that had never watched anything in the MCU, that really didn't know anything about Marvel, but were interested in the MCU because the MCU was on everybody's brains around the world at that time. They were on top of the world. So I remember doing that. This was, again, after Loki. So if you would have probably done a Monica Rambeau series after she was introduced in WandaVision instead of trying to do it after your biggest fail in the Marvels, your biggest theatrical fail in the Marvels, probably would have done a lot better. But their excuse for not doing the Monica Rambeau series is because of the box office performance of the Marvels. Well, that ain't Tiana's fault, and that damn sure ain't Monica's fault. That's not their fault. That's Marvel's fault for trying to introduce a character, for doing with this weird shit that they did with Brie Larson, then trying to introduce a character in a film that you already knew people weren't going to show up to anyway. So that's their excuse for the Monica stuff. Still doesn't explain where she is, doesn't explain why she's presumably not in Doomsday. I'm going to keep, because we don't know for sure, but presumably not in Doomsday. We haven't, actually, I want to say we do know for sure. Yeah, we do know for sure. Because why would Monica, critical thinking here, why the fuck would Monica be this, keep her a secret that she's not in Doomsday? You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to be like, we've seen BTS photos. We've seen them. We've seen the leaked BTS photos of the new Avengers, the scene where Thor is talking to all of them in that trailer where he's like, I fought with warriors, more stronger than all of us put together, and they died. That scene in the BTS leaked photos leaked out, along with other things that we knew about the X-Mansion, we knew about the Sentinels, we knew about the big fight between blah blah blah. We knew about a lot of the stuff that was in the trailer. We knew about that stuff months ago. I'd even say last year. We've known of that stuff for quite some time. So I'm saying that to say all the stuff that we've known, all the stuff now it's a long movie. There's a lot of stuff that we have not seen either. But all the stuff that has come out, Tiana Paris hasn't been on set. Tiana Paris ain't been in no leaked photos. Tiana Paris wasn't, there's been nothing about Monica. So I would say I'd be closer to believing, still presumably, we don't really know, but I'd be closer to believing that we really do know that she's not in the movie. And again, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not really sure if the rumor is true that other X-Men that are not with the X-Men also died while fighting incursions, because that is also the rumor here, that the X-Men are well aware of the incursions. The X-Men, just like not like just like in the comics, but in the comics, how you had the Battle of War, or the Game of Worlds being played. The X-Men have basically have been playing that, and are well aware, rumor-wise, are well aware of the incursions that have been taking place. So if that is true, and let's take it even a step further, there was that plot leak that came out a while back that said that the opening of Doomsday starts with, in Tobey Maguire's universe, and it starts with an incursion. And I think it's an incursion that is about to ensue between the X-Men universe and Tobey Maguire's universe. Now, all this is a grain of salt. We don't know for sure, but this is what's out there. Supposed to ensue between those two universes. Well, the X-Men are now on Tobey Maguire's, on his world in New York, and there's a big battle that's supposed to take place between Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Tobey's Spider-Man, to where Hugh's Wolverine is supposedly killed. Tobey's Spider-Man gets off somehow. I don't know how he gets off. I don't remember how, but he gets off because we go on to see him. Sorry, hold on. We go on to see him later on in the film and things like that, because I believe he's supposedly in Doomsday. So we go on to see him later on in the film and things like that. So if we're to believe those rumors, then that means that the X-Men have been losing members since they've been playing the Game of Worlds in these incursions. Not everyone is making it back to the X-Mansion every time. So which is believable. I mean, not everybody's going to make it every time. If we're playing the Game of Worlds and we're going to different, worlds, and we're fighting the heroes of that world, maybe the heroes of that world might be more formidable than the heroes that, we're taking on, and blah, 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 blah. So, which is believable. So I say that to say there's a rumor that says that, that's why Storm's not there. That's why Jean's not there with this group and things like that, because they have lost X-Men along the way, which takes me back to the rumor of Monica and Maria. Obviously, the post-credit scene with Monica in the Marvels ends with Maria saying, okay, who are you and what are you doing in my universe? Well, obviously a conversation has to take place. As we know from the MCU, from being a part of the MCU for over 10 years, those are conversations and scenes and things that do take place off camera that we don't see. So obviously, if that has taken place, they've had a conversation of who are you, what are you doing in my universe, that gets explained. Maybe they do fight an incursion together. Maybe she does put on a uniform and tries to help the X-Men. Doesn't make sense as to why the fuck she wouldn't be trying to get back to her own universe. But maybe she does help them and she's fighting incursions and they do die, doesn't but again, it does feed into the you don't care about black characters. But Darius, they're going to be in Secret Wars. Makes 0 sense for Monica to not be one of the main characters of Doomsday. 0 sense. Don't care if she's going to return in Secret Wars. Even if she does return in Secret Wars, it's going to be small. Do you know how big of a juggernaut Secret Wars is going to be? To be able to have to juggle so many different stories going on at once to then get back to the central story? You think Monica? Maybe Monica's on one of the teams that get you. Maybe. I don't know, bro. But it makes 0 sense for Monica to not be one of the central characters of this film. And if I'm Mahershala Ali, jumping back to him, if I'm Mahershala Ali and I see that Ryan Reynolds is getting brought out at SDCC as Ghost Rider, I'm pissed even more. Whatever you offer me, whatever money it is you offer me, I'm not doing it because I gave you time, and that's something I can't get back. Time is something I gave you time, I gave you effort, I did sword training, I passed up on money. You played with my money. Nah. So there's nothing that you could offer me that I would come back anyway. So if I see that he's going to that he, Ghost Riders, we don't know what we say that I think that Sean Levy's the director. They're doing Ghost Rider. It's gonna be I think what they say. When is Ghost Rider? I don't think we know anything about it. We don't have a plot. I don't think we even had a date for it. Although there is a rumor from Jeff Snyder that he's in Secret Wars. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. Takes you back to Deadpool and Wolverine. There's only one. There's only one. Damn. There's only one Blade. There's ever gonna only want to be one. There's ever going to only be one Blade. Maybe that was real. Maybe that was real. Oh, is it 2028? Okay, it's in 2028. Okay. So 2028. So not only did your project get announced, but you're announced in 2026 on the same big ass stage that mine was announced. But your project is getting made a year later. So it's going into development in 2027. Then we're going to see it in 2028. Meanwhile, Mahershala Ali came on stage, what was that, 2019? There's nothing you could do to get me back. There's nothing. I don't care how much money. There's nothing you could do to get me back. I don't care about the ensemble. I don't care about how cool it'd be to do. Get somebody else to do it. And at this point, again, at 52 years old, I agree. I'm on his side. I'm on his side on your anger. I'm on his side on your time. I'm on his side on fuck you, my money, all that. But when it comes to the 8, yeah, time. I think on one of the thumbnails I did talking about where's Blade, I think I made Mahershala Ali's appearance old because that was the focal point of that video. If they don't move this along, time. So yeah, we need a different Blade. So you fuck that off. And you know what's funny? I've seen who was, I don't remember who it was, but somebody, they were talking about, oh well, yeah, Ryan Reynolds called and this is the role he wants. And when you have an actor like that, blah blah blah. Mahershala is a 2-time Academy Award winner. These are things we know. These are things we've said. These are things Kevin Feige said. He said when an actor like Mahershala Ali calls your phone and says he wants to play Blade, you give him Blade. That's Kevin's words. So they wasted that man's time to do such a simple film, and such a simple film like Blade. And the only thing that Kevin could say, now we don't know what he said behind the scenes, but the only thing he could say to us publicly was, I feel like such a gigantic loser for not getting Mahershala Ali's Blade off the ground. But I forget what word he used, but he felt, I guess, good by getting Wesley Snipes back as Blade. So that was his, hey, you get what you get, hey. You get what you get. You got Wesley, but you didn't get Mahershala. I feel like a loser for it. But on the other hand, we did get Wesley back. So you win some, you lose some. Again, we don't really know how Kevin feels, what was said to him behind the scenes. But yeah, then again, you got Wonder Man. Rumor right now is that Wonder Man is going to return in Secret Wars. Is that true? Probably. I don't know. I don't really know all the characters that are going to be in Secret Wars. He might be in Secret Wars, but the rumor is he's going to return in Secret Wars. And then I just think it's a big, massive. I don't like Wonder Man. I don't like this adaptation of Wonder Man. I don't think that. I don't think the show was good. I don't think that casting Mahershala Ali, Yahya as Wonder Man was a good choice. I thought that there were many other choices. The fan art of him as Bishop. I think that you could have even got him as Adam Brashear. We could have got Adam Brashear in here. Blue Marvel would have been great. But it's completely wasted time and talent to me to have him be Wonder Man. A character that is white in comics. So I use this example all the time. So if there anybody that is not keen on who these superheroes are, I've never picked up a comic before, and you're like, hey, due to the MCU, I now want to go learn more about this character, go pick up a comic. If you're a black kid and you go pick up this comic because you relate to this character because this character, looks like me and blah, blah, blah. Well, your only adaptation you're ever going to have is the MCU, and that's going to be, once again, temporary. He could continue on as Wonder Man in the reboot. That may be something they keep on. He could not. Don't really know. But even if he does continue on after the reboot, it's still temporary. Just like Anthony Mackie is temporary. I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. Kevin Feige already told you that when he told you that the reason that Captain America 4 failed was because it did not have Chris Evans in it, i.e. because it did not have a white man in the lead. which I'm not saying I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. But when it comes to the role of Captain America, nobody, nobody asked for this. Nobody petitioned for it. Nobody asked him in interviews, when are you taking over? And in game, it always made sense to me for it to be passed over to Bucky if you were going to pass it. But you passed it over to Sam and said, I'm going to make you proud. Falcon and Winter Soldier, you had 2 hits, in my opinion. I know not everybody thinks that WandaVision or Loki are hits. I do. I think that they were fantastic shows. I thought that that was the idea that they were trying to do when it came to these shows and things like that. Were they perfect shows? No. But they were great. It was great. It's great Marvel material. Loki was fantastic, man. Loki was great. WandaVision, to me, still is the best. Falcon Winter Soldier, not at all. Now I know that there were hiccups with Falcon Winter Soldier. There was COVID. The story that they were originally doing resembled too close to COVID or the things happening in the real world, and they couldn't blah 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 blah. But the Flag Smashers and that girl, the little girl, and yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't the story. The preaching that now I like the stuff with Isaiah and him. Overall, I did not like the show though. The Doors were great when they showed up. Overall, though, the show was not great. You had black folks working on that show, but overall, the show was not good. The show was not good. So I don't, as far as like, them saying that COVID was one of the reasons and things like that, you still could have done whatever story it was you were going to do. I don't really care if it was too, I don't know what the original, it was a virus. That's what it was. There was a virus or something. The original story was there was a virus and something like that. I don't know. But turned out to be some shit on the ground. Which ultimately hurt what you were trying to do with to put Sam Wilson in the Captain America role. And then you released Captain America 4. Then you released Captain America 4. Awful. Terrible. What you did with Sidewinder, wasting Giancarlo. Terrible. Should have went with the Serpent Society. With everything that we knew about this film prior to the film coming out, the film had been chopped about 16, 17 times, had been test screened about a dozen, and every time came back, no, boo, shit, stinks. Common denominator, it's Mackie. Now, I think the film could have been better with the Serpent Society. If you would have really done the Serpent Society like you were planning to do and do the make them actually look, not this whole MCU, put on your Serpent Society suit, but actually make them like the Serpent Society, like we saw in some of the concept art. I think that would have been great. It could have been cool. I'm not saying that would have made him any more popular as Captain America amongst the fans in the MCU, but it definitely possibly could have helped Captain America 4. That story for Captain America 4 was awful. It was awful. You put in Red Hulk for what? I'm not sure. It never made sense for him to be going against Red Hulk and not have the Hulk show up or anything like that. As far as it just a lot. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it didn't make sense. And I even said before the film even came out, the only way he's gonna stop Red Hulk is if they do that stupid shit where he talks him down, and that's exactly what he did. He took him to a place around some damn trees that, hey, don't remember these trees? Betty likes these trees. Oh, you're right. Terrible. Yeah, so where they currently are, and again, as I said, it all stems back to T'Challa. I believe that they have killed him in every universe. Now the current rumor is that David Johnson's T'Challa, we've gone back here, by the way. With this rumor. David Johnson's T'Challa is going to show up in Secret Wars. And how? I don't know. I don't know if the time is. I don't know. Time could work differently once Doom puts Battle World together. Once Doom starts to put Battle World together, time could be, I don't know. But that's the current rumor. Because remember, the rumor at first, remember, the rumor was that overall, it first started with the rumor was we were getting a new, the child was going to be, sorry, the first rumor was T'Challa's getting recasted. That came from Jeff Snyder, where Jeff Snyder had said, well, we don't know if that's going to be T'Challa, to whoever. He's like, I don't know. I just know that they are casting a male Black Panther. Boom. Okay. That started the whirlwind of conversations online of, are they recasting T'Challa? Is this going to be the child? What does this mean? Blah, blah, blah. Everything like that. So then it changed to, well, there's going to be several Black Panthers in Secret Wars. Okay. Then it changed to, no, it's not going to be T'Challa that's going to be in it. It's going to be Azuri that's going to be in it. Then it changed to, no, it's not going to be Azuri. It's going to be the child, but he's going to be aged up. And he's going to be from a different universe. And that one never made any fucking sense. Then the concept art came out that looked exactly like Damson. Of course, Damson's name from the very beginning was the name that had been kind of synonymous with Marvel, maybe not with what the fandom wanted. I know a lot of people like myself had Aldous as their number one, but synonymous with Marvel, coming out of Marvel, it was the top one was Damson. Now I remember I said this on Twitter the night of SDCC when they found out that David Johnson was playing T'Child. I remember his name. It was like a fart in the wind, but I remember it. I remember David Johnson's name coming across the table there for recast and people saying, no one really paid attention to it. I remember I struck it down and was like, no, he's definitely not right to come in and play any version of whatever they're trying to do. Rather that be, because remember at the time we didn't know if it was the child or if it was going to for sure be, because remember I got word from my little source that I ain't heard from, but I got the information from my source that was saying, oh, it was Damson Idris. Then I got the information that said it's a package deal with Damson Idris and Jamie Lawson, and feeding me the information that I was then feeding to everybody else. But the Damson Idris thing was not like a one-off thing. There were a lot of other scoopers and things like that. I'm not a scooper, but there were a lot of people talking about Damson Idris's name in line with Marvel. Damson himself was playing cheeky about it in interviews and things like that. So it's not as if his name wasn't really out there. It really was out there. Now the Jamie Lawson thing, I believe it. I believe that still. You look at the names floating around for the X-Men currently and the ages. And remember, they said they were casting young for the X-Men because they want them to be younger. Jamie Lawson's 28 years old. Storm does not need to be 20. How old is Sadie Sink? 21, 22? Storm does not need to be 22. They're talking about David Starsky, kind of rumor-wise, for David Starsky as Scott. David Starsky is 32 years old. Does he look 32? No. So you could, kind of blah blah blah. Storm's going to be like, probably a little bit older than them, as she should be, a little bit older than them. And I really don't really know how that's going to work if they're putting her in Black Panther 3, because as I've said, and I know nobody wants to hear this, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I really believe I'm not, they're going to pair her up with that child. So we don't know how old the child's going to be first. Last time we saw him, he was 6. He could be 26 when we see him next. He could be 16. He could be, I don't know how old he's going to be. I don't know how old the kid's going to be. So I really don't know, but I think they're going to, so let me actually just nix the whole pairing the two up real quick and just focus on Storm. I'm not sure how old she's going to be. I would expect her to be just a little bit older than Jean and the rest of them. But I think Jamie Lawson, because of her relationship with Coogler from Sinners, and then obviously him having the choice in who is cast as Aurora, he may cast Jamie Lawson. I think that she'd be great for that role. But that's what I was told. I was told it was a package deal with Jamie Lawson, blah 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 blah. However, deals change on the table all the time, as you were seeing with this whole T'Challa thing. 1 minute it's Azuri, next minute it's T'Challa, the next minute it's this, next minute it's that. Now the current rumor is, hey, it's David Johnson showing up as T'Challa in, or T'Child in Secret Wars. So we don't really know. We don't really know. But I think that this whole thing of having David Johnson or having T'Challa show up as T'Challa or the Black Panther in Secret Wars, and it's not now, possibly not now, going to be Damson or Azuri or whoever, whatever, because it was never, and I'm telling y'all, it was never going to be T'Challa. T'Challa was never coming from Universe 2, 3, 4, 90210. He was never coming from any of those universes, because I strongly believe, I don't have any evidence of this outside of just how they're treating the character. He's dead in every universe because they have tied him so dearly to Chadwick. They have tied that character so dearly to Chadwick. I mean, even Bo DeMeo himself said it in his tweets. It was what he say, too early or something like that, or whatever. They've tied the, even Kevin said that it was just too early, not the right time. But when he said that, it was never in the context of what we all thought. It was never in the context of, oh, it's too early to recast the character. It was too early for them to move on, with putting a male Black Panther in there that's not Chadwick Boseman, still not putting him as T'Challa proper, son of T'Chaka, because that's not something they were ever going to do. That's not something that they were ever going to do. They have tied this character so tightly with Chad, that, as much as, again, as I'm saying don't stop the hashtag, I also still just do not believe that in Black Panther 4 or Black Panther 5 or whatever, that T'Challa's just going to pop up, via however he could do it, because it's fiction within the MCU. They've no one wants to hear this. I said this on my Instagram story, and I saw a lot of people saying this. Saw a lot of people saying on Twitter, this is not a recast because he's playing a character that is, not in the MC, or that's not in comics, that was created by Ryan Coogler. He's playing that character. The character of T'Challa that was played by Chadwick Boseman is still dead. So technically, this is not a recast. You're doing mental gymnastics that they don't care to do. Semantics also. For them, semantics. Maybe not for you and I, but semantics also for them. They don't care. The mental gymnastics you're doing, saying that, oh, this is not that. No, so nobody wants to hear this, but this is the recast. I know no one wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. But see, I've been mentally preparing myself for this when I did that video that you can, if you are new here, if you've never seen me before, if you're wondering who the fuck is this nigga up here, you can go look on my video. I have a recast T'Challa playlist because I've been talking about recasting T'Challa, and I'm still talking recast T'Challa. I do not accept this. I don't accept it at all. But I did a video way back that said I think the title of it is The Son of T'Chaka is Dead or something like that, or to recast, whatever it is. I know that's on the thumbnail. So T'Chaka's never being, or something like that. I said then. And I've been mentally preparing myself for this moment now. So do I accept it? No. Do I like it? No. But this is what they're doing. This is the recast. No one wants to hear that, bro. But this is the recast. So you can do the mental gymnastics. You can try to cope if you would like, and I'm not trying to be mean or rude or whatever. You guys know, especially my viewers that have been here that know me, I am a realist. You can cope if you want. This is the recast. This is it. They brought him out at Hall H. They had Ryan explain it. They had Ryan explain who he was. Even if you've watched any of these other interviews that the cast of Doomsday have done, if you saw the one that that Letitia did with everybody else, she did it with Robert, Chris Evans, David Arbor was there, Paul Rudd. All of them were, a lot of them were there. Jessica Romaine. Those were the only two women there, females there. And she said, the way she was talking, it was literally a passing of, he's the guy. He's the one. It was the way they were talking in 2022 when they couldn't fathom someone else coming in that wasn't Chad. But the way that she was talking in that interview was as if it was a release. He's the guy. I mean, he's the one. We trusted. Like, I'm not using her words verbatim, but it was as if it was like the long search. We're still grieving. A hole is never going to be filled for them. I'm just thinking in the way that they would probably be thinking about this, because as I've told you many times, I don't believe that any of them were that close to Chadwick Boseman, because you would have known he was sick. I mean, granted, I just lost my cousin to cancer. This is not the first family member that I have ever lost to cancer, but this is the first family member that I have ever been as close as my cousin and I were. My cousin and I were close. So I've lost someone to cancer. And it's not something we advertised. We weren't on social media, advertising, that she was sick and things like that or whatever. But were people blind? No. Did people ask, hey, is everything okay? And it's not as if we too, being as distant as we were from Chad, not knowing him at all outside of movies and roles and interviews and things like that, name of being a celebrity, we noticed that he was getting thin. For those close friends, there was that story that he was falling asleep during the, and again watching my cousin, it's cancer's a hell of a fucking, falling asleep during that big Marvel photo shoot that they did. But you being as close as you are to, you didn't notice that stuff. You didn't notice the weight loss. You didn't notice the lack in energy. You didn't notice the things that, you didn't notice any of that. I don't know what kind of cancer Chad had. It's all different. I don't know what kind of cancer he had. I don't know at what point his body shut down on him to where he just wasn't doing anything. I don't know. But for you to not notice, not know that he was sick, because they didn't know. I don't believe any of them were as close as they claimed to have been to Chad and things like that. But so a hole is never going to be filled. To pick it back up where I was at, a hole is never going to be filled for them. That's the way they were talking in 2022. Ryan Coogler did that podcast where he was talking. I don't remember who it was, but it was the Wakanda Forever podcast, where he was like, man, for us, Chadwick Boseman's never walked through that door again. For us, no one else can ever fill that role. For us, that guy is gone. He's dead. He's never coming through the doors. So for us, not verbatim or everything he was saying, but basically for us, there is no other way. So that was in 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26, 4 years ago. Obviously, in 4 years, time heals all. As Drake would say, those heels are still going to hurt to walk in, but they're still walking in it. It's still going to hurt them for, whatever that, I can only, it's still going to hurt them. It's still going to hurt them to move on with the new character. It's still going to hurt them to move on, or the recast, the person in this role. But when you watch Letitia with that group, it's as if it was a release. It's as if it was like a passing of, we can finally do this. We finally have had the healing. We have finally, moved on enough and moved on enough to be able to actually finally see someone else that is not Chadwick Boseman on set with us every day in this role. That's the vibe she gave to me. So you might want to do the mental gymnastics and say, oh, this is not a recast. This is a casting of the character. Semantics, brother. It's a recast and it's a casting of the character. Two things can be true at the same time. It is a recast and it is a casting of the character, because they are recasting a male Black Panther within the MCU, but also casting for Toussaint, the older version of Toussaint, T'Challa Jr., or whatever the fuck. But it's not. So again, the mental gymnastics, sure, you want to continue to do them, but you'll be doing them all the way till 2028 December, whenever this film comes out. And if you want to continue to do them after, continue to do so. I'm not saying, again, stop the recast. I'm not saying, again, stop the hashtag, because I'm still supporting the hashtag. I'm still telling them what I want. I'm still telling them that this is some bullshit. I'm still telling them this is not acceptable. This is not, you would not do this to any other character. But at the same time, I'm also realistic. This is the recast. So David Johnson is, we're talking age here. We're talking reboots here. We're talking what Marvel's trying to do here. They're casting young because they're starting over somewhat. David Johnson's 32 years old. You're going to get a good 10, maybe plus years out of this man as a male Black Panther within the MCU. And if you think that they're sniffing, itching, it's on a pinned board somewhere at Marvel Studios that at some point in time we're going to push T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, proper back. It's a new era for them. Like Kevin said in his interviews during SDCC, there's a lot of comic stories that we can pull from that take place after Secret Wars. So we have a plethora of ways we can go. Again, not verbatim, but something that is verbatim. He said they got stories up till 2048. 2048. Now, do we know if Marvel Studios is going to go that line? I don't know. Probably. Even if you check out, someone else might check in. Who knows? I don't know. But he said they got stories up till 2048, and I damn guarantee you, not in 2038, not in 2028, not in 2042, do any of those stories, any of those years involve any other Black Panther outside of David Johnson as T'Challa, their T'Challa proper within the MCU. Do I like it? No. Do I accept it? No. Will I be there in December for Black Panther? No. Am I watching any Wakanda-themed projects? Even the Okoye show that got canceled, the Midnight Angels, that show that got... all those canceled Black am I No. Did I watch Eyes of Wakanda? No. I won't be there, but that doesn't mean that the majority of these fans aren't going to be there. Darius, why do you use Denim Nerds as an example all the time? Because I'm going there. Y'all know I am. Josh just talked about it at SDCC. Why do I use Josh as an example all the time? Because I think his SDCC stream that he did had like 3,000 plus people in it or something like that in that stream. And this is a typical stream numbers for Josh, especially when there's big events. Then you know, I'm using Josh as an example because he said he doesn't accept it. He wants T'Challa back proper. He doesn't understand how it's so hard for them to do T'Challa proper, just like the rest of us, and blah, blah, blah. However, he's still testing the waters on it in a way, because he said that, let's say that David Johnson gets in and he's good, and I think everybody has said this is no disrespect to David Johnson. I like David Johnson in The Long Walk. I loved him in Alien Romulus. I think he's a good actor. However, he's stepping into a 6-year-old battle zone that has been waging war on the recasting of T'Challa since 2020, when they said we will not be recasting T'Challa. And they meant that shit. They meant that shit. So it's not his fault. He's a good actor. But if not, even if they were casting him for T'Challa, if it was T'Challa proper, would he be my first choice as T'Challa? Fuck no. But if it was T'Challa proper, could I be mad? I'd be like, you know what? Damn. I don't like it. I don't love it, but I'll accept it. I'll accept it. You heard my pleas. You heard my cries. You didn't go get Aldous, which is what I would have done, because he understands the character. He's told you time and time again and shown you in interviews after interviews with knowledge and understanding and blah, blah, blah. I would have went out and got Aldous, but I would have accepted it because it was T'Challa proper, son of T'Chaka. And then, you know, as I accepted, I would have been like, you know what, let's look at the pros and cons. Cons, he's short. Pros, I liked him in Alien Romulus. I liked him in The Long Walk. Cons, he's but I would have accepted it. So yeah, he stepped into a very heated environment. So it's not really his fault. It's not really his fault. I think he's a good actor. However, I saw Josh saying the same thing. He's a good actor. I agree, blah, blah, blah. But if he comes in and he does a good job and it's a male Black Panther, is that not all what we want? I want T'Challa. This is Josh. I want T'Challa back proper. This is 3,000 people. Now, a lot of his people that watch him already are not on the recast T'Challa train. They're not on that. They're not on. They don't have a ticket. Never bought a ticket. Haven't been at any state. They don't care. A lot of them have said. Now there are some people in there in the mix that have said blah 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 blah, but a lot of them don't care. So again, I'm using that as an example just to say, we feel the way we feel, but I'm telling y'all, I've even seen some people saying it's a dead film on arrival. People are not going to support this, and I've seen a lot. I don't want to discount this. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, on Instagram, on whatever other platforms saying that no. Why not just T'Challa? Why not just bring him back? Why? So I don't want to discredit that. Do I think that the film is going to suffer in the theaters? No. Darius, why? One, Ryan Coogler has the court of public opinion. You and I might feel the way we feel about Ryan when it comes to the IP of Black Panther and the MCU, because I think he needs to get the fuck away from it. I think he needs to get far away from it, very far. I like Ryan outside of Black Panther. When he steps into Wakanda, he needs to be expeditiously taken out. I don't think he doesn't understand it. The things that he's doing, and if he pairs up this kid with Storm, he doesn't get it. It's not, and for those of you that don't understand or are still probably puzzled, scratching your head, wondering, why is this so bad? T'Challa proper was the first Black character that was not a derivative character, that was not a sidekick, that was a king, that thwarted the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family, the family that was beloved by comic readers. This Black man came in there, lured them to Wakanda, beat the hell out of them, not just once, several times. But not only did he do that on the pages, when he took off his mask, he was a Black man. Not only was he a Black, he was a colonization. He was their protector. He was proficient in every form of fighting, speaking several different languages, the richest comic book character of all time. 2 white men created that in the height of the civil rights movement and said, hey, we need representation out there for Black readers, because these are Jack Kirby's words. For those of you that have never tuned into any of this stuff before, maybe this is new for you. There's a video of Jack Kirby saying, there were Black kids reading in our comics, and we needed to basically, again, not verbatim, we needed to give them representation. So they created T'Challa the Black Panther. So it's not so much that, hey, this is a male Black Panther, you're getting what you get. No. It's not T'Challa. It's not son of T'Chaka. It's not the T'Challa that we have been reading for 50 plus years. How do you tell people that are older than you and I? Some of you might be older than me watching, but how do you tell those people that have been here since the civil rights movement, since the 60s, when it hit the shelves, picked up the very first comic and been reading on and on and on and on to date? How do you tell them it doesn't matter if it's T'Challa, son of T'Chaka? Would you tell those same comic readers that if it was the Fantastic Four, if you changed the Fantastic Four, if it was, I don't know, some rando 4 people, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't be able to look them in the eye and tell them that, the same way you couldn't look a Spider-Man fan in the eye and tell them that, the same way you couldn't look a Captain America fan in the eye and tell them that. If you switched somebody up, if it was Captain America's son that took Mjolnir from Thor's hands in the Doomsday trailer, they would have had an uproar. It'd have been an uproar. Why is it not Captain America? Where's Chris Evans? This doesn't make any sense. The same sense it makes that this motherfucker is T'Challa makes the same sense for his son to come take Mjolnir. That's the same fucking logic they are working on at the MCU, and they want you to believe it. They want you to believe it. So no, I don't believe that, this whole recast, or that they're going to be recasting him. This is the recast. This is it. So it's unfortunate. It is what it is. There's nothing, there's the, again, use your voice. continue to use the hashtag if you're one that's using the hashtag. Continue to use the hashtag. Continue to show your displeasure in it. But taking it back to what I was saying about, do I think this movie makes money? I do. It's a Ryan Coogler film. People, the court of public opinion, people still love Ryan Coogler. It's a Black Panther film. You're going to get people some people were, I mean, my mom, she knows what I do though. Of course, she sent me the David Johnson thing, and I had some other people sending me the David Johnson thing and things like that, and blah blah blah. So people are, it didn't seem like the outcry from regular schmegular fans was the outcry of people that are more tuned into what's going on with the MCU, that are more tuned into the recast movement, that are more tuned into this character from comics and things like that. But the overall audience, I think, if you have a male Black Panther, and it's so funny, it's so funny, it's so funny, it's so funny. The Suri fans that were, and I've never been against Suri. I've never been against her. I think that I always thought that having her take on the role was stupid as fuck. But I've never been against Letitia Wright or the character of Suri. But it's funny how tables have turned. When we were screaming recast T'Challa, it was, oh, it's about a mantle, it's about a mantle, it's about a mantle. But now that mantle's being passed to somebody that's not your Suri, and now it's not about a mantle. Now it's about what's unfair. Now it's about, well, she only got one movie. Well, so did T'Challa. So did T'Challa. He might have gotten introduced in Civil War, which was a great introduction. We got some great scenes with him, but he only got one movie. We didn't get to see T'Challa fight Doom. We didn't get to see T'Challa fight Namor. We didn't get to see T'Challa do anything that we've seen him do in the comics. So again, kind of takes me back to those readers that are older than us. How do you tell them that have seen T'Challa do so many different stories, T'Challa proper do so many different stories, but now you're going to take that character that means so much to so many different people, so many people of color that have been, again, reading those comics, knowing that character, it means something to them. That character means something to them. The same way that Kal-El Clark means something to white readers and maybe some Black readers, if they hold him in some high regard like that. It's the same thing with T'Challa. Same thing with T'Challa. You relate to the character. The representation is there, especially when he was the first. So it's, yeah, T'Challa didn't even fight Claw, like Blue said. So it's yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. But do I think I still I see that too. I've seen mixed results, like Blue says. I've seen mixed results. I've seen them. I said that earlier. I've seen the mixed results. I don't want to discount the people that are out there saying no, they don't agree with it. It's a hard rejection from them. But I'm telling you, I'm not saying Spider-Man is because it's not. I'm not saying Spider-Man is Black Panther and the things like that and what they're doing box office, and Spider-Man's already crossed $1 billion, things like that. I'm not saying that at all. But what Spider-Man just did, and I have a really hard time believing, I know some of you don't believe this, that Doomsday is not going to do numbers. I mean, to me, I think you're a fool if you think that. Doomsday is going to do numbers. That second trailer that leaked, that should have been the first trailer. That first trailer was fine. But maybe it's because of if you're in this space and you've known what you know, you knew all that stuff was coming, the leaks and all that kind of stuff, like it kind of might have taken the excitement, taken the air out of the excitement for you a little bit. I know it did for me because we knew about a lot of that stuff. We knew about a lot of that stuff. I love Thor's dialogue, the speech that Thor was giving to that weak bunch that was in that room, but overall it was a fine trailer. But that leaked trailer, that leaked one, that one they saw at SDCC, that was a good trailer. The dialogue from Sue at the beginning, the building up of what was going on. You've got Pedro Reed hanging on to the collar of Doom saying, "Did you do this? Did you?" I mean, it was, you felt the gravity of it a little bit more. I mean, you felt the gravity in that first one too, but you felt the gravity a little bit more. Then you got Kevin Feige trying to gaslight people, trying to say you don't got to build up Doom because they didn't build up Thanos. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that Doomsday is going to do fantastic. So with Doomsday doing the numbers that it's likely going to do, the reason Wakanda Forever failed is because you advertised a funeral. Not only did you advertise a funeral, you had 2 deaths in it. You killed the franchise's main character, buried him indefinitely. You've already said he's not coming back. It was a very sad film. Wakanda got their asses kicked the entire fucking film. And even when Wakanda was supposed to be showing, that we are the most intelligent, place ever and all this kind of stuff. We are this. They didn't show that. That wasn't displayed. They fought the water people in the water. Just a lot of different dumb ass shit that was happening. So Wakanda Forever had its reasons as to why it failed. If you advertise this and you advertise spectacle, if you advertise this and you advertise, whatever it's going to be, you've got rumors of the Shadow King maybe being in it. You've got I don't know who are the other rumors of the villain. I don't even know if there were other rumors of villains, but they're about to start going to production soon. So if they start going into production soon, because we know this comes out right now, the date is December 2028. If they go into production soon, we're going to start hearing plots. We're going to start hearing characters. We're going to start hearing whatever. We know that Storm is already in it. They want mutant presence in it. You're tying the mutants to it. People have already now seen Jean Grey in Spider-Man and have seemingly loved it. You now may be introducing another Omega level mutant in Storm in this film, tying again the mutants back to this film, and then whatever spectacle you might give with this film, it's not going to be the somber, sad funeral. I'm gonna kill Ramonda too. Also, that's not me. I'm not sitting here, trying to judge up the film. I'm not sitting here trying to say, yeah, go see this. I'm just saying it's not going to be a funeral. So I don't know that you get the same reception of people that don't want to go see this. I don't know. We haven't seen a trailer for it. This trailer could be, the trailer for Wakanda Forever, say what you will. I think the film is dog shit, but that trailer was great. Good trailer. Knowing even what we knew, knowing T'Challa wasn't going to be in it. It was a good trailer. It's a really good trailer. The No Woman No Cry going into We Gonna Be All, that's a good trailer. So we don't really know what this trailer is going to look like for Black Panther 3 as well. So I think it's still on the fence, but I would lean more toward I think money wise, box office wise, reception wise, it's probably not going to be bad. I know nobody. It's probably not what you guys want, and I'm probably not what y'all want. I think I don't know if y'all want realistic or you want me to come up here and you want me to sugarcoat shit and be like, oh yeah, this film's gonna do so bad based off of my personal feelings. I'm not. No, my feelings are my feelings are this is dumb. My feelings are this is gonna be dog shit for me. But realistically, my feelings aside, reading the room. No, we're not at 2027 or close to 2028 at all yet, but reading the room of Marvel reception, people are wanting badass characters. People are wanting spectacle shit. People are wanting to see what people are wanting to see. And if you're throwing the X-Men in there, and again, as I said after I watched Brand New Day, I think after watching Brand New Day and how they handled Jean Grey, you may not have liked it personally, but I think I think they may actually cook with this mutant saga. They may actually cook with this mutant saga. So, and even if that's not the cook you want it to be, overall fans are loving Spider-Man Brand New Day. Overall fans are loving Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. Overall fans are conflicted with the decisions and things that she made, but I think that was the point also. I mean, if you know the X-Men, everything that's going to be set up from the decisions that were made by Jean Grey in Brand New Day. You got to think about that. Also, not just from Jean Grey, but from Peter as well. The inhibitor chip that's going to plague the mutants down the line. Everything that she did, that's going to probably prompt Charles to starting Xavier Mansion, because I'm sure the school and everything, because it's obviously not in the MCU, it's not there yet. So starting that based off of what he's seen from Jean Grey to prevent that again, then probably recruiting Jean Grey to help prevent blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Then we're going to see the mutants being formed and things like that. So all of this, people are loving the mutant stuff right now within the MCU. And I think that, again, with Jean Grey, her killing people, her powers. It's also going to, it's her, the freeze that she did on the little portion of New York that she did. It's gonna put the fear of mutants in people. There's gonna start the anti-mutant uh, um, rallies and people and things like that. It's they're setting up certain things here. So if you're getting people excited for the mutants and people are clearly excited for them based off of Jean and things like that, you get another Omega level mutant in Aurora and Black Panther. If people are really loving that, man, I don't know that this don't know that it fails. I don't know that it fails. We've been saying for the longest. We've been saying for the longest. The X-Men are it. That's their last leg to stand on. And if they're doing them and they're doing them right, regardless of it being just a boom, flat out X-Men movie right first, because you're getting the X-Men movie, but they're still mill piecing certain X-Men here. You got, in certain projects, which they said they were going to do. To be fair, shit might pop off. Shit might pop off. And who's to say lessons haven't been learned from the multiverse saga? Listen, I've said this too. I'm going to say it again. Again, we might have new people, and I might need to refresh some memories. I'm not okay with what's going on with T'Challa. It pisses me off. I am not okay with, the killing of T'Challa, having him so tightly tied to Chadwick Boseman and things like that. Everything I've been saying over the past 6 years, I'm not okay with it. But in that does not then mean that I boycott the MCU, because outside of T'Challa, and I've been here since 2008 anyway, and I want to see how this all wraps up and into the mutant saga. Outside of T'Challa, there's many other characters within Marvel that I adore, that I like, that I want to see, especially the X-Men, I want to see the mutant saga. I want to see how they're going to handle this. I want to see blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm pissed about the T'Challa stuff. But it does not then, it doesn't then make me say that for every project I'm looking now. I have my other things to look at, based off of the way other projects we've seen throughout the multiverse saga and how shit a lot of it has been. But from what I've seen from Spider-Man Brand New Day and Jean, it's really the first big one, but it was a little bit of an exhale on the mutant saga and how they might handle it. It's not doom is gloom over here for me with Marvel. And you guys know that it never has been. I think that they've made some dumbass decisions in the past 6 years. I think, T'Challa is at the very top of that list. I think that they have dug this hole that they are trying to dig themselves out of, and they may never fully dig themselves out of this hole and get that audience back that they had at the end of in 2019 during Endgame. Have the world literally in the palm of their hand. But with all that, there are still projects and things that I'm excited for, things that I want to see, things that I'm, so it's not, I'm not going to think, or I don't personally think that so far with what I've seen so far that they could fail. Now with how Storm is going to be portrayed, am I going to like that? I don't know. I'm telling you, if it's what I'm thinking it is, no, hell no. And that's what I'm thinking it is. I've been thinking that for a long time, and I'm going to continue to think that. If it's what I'm thinking it is, hell no, I'm not going to like that. But I'm telling you, the overall fandom, they're just not us. So we'll see. That's what's going on with the with black characters and the MCU. People are waking up. People are waking up. People are waking up and starting to see that this shit doesn't make sense. These black characters are all getting sidelined. I mean, I didn't even bring up Ironheart, another one that I really wasn't checking for at all. But the advertisement for Ironheart was non-existent. I think up until the 3 days until the show came out. Then they were like, "Hey, Ironheart, just so you know, don't miss it. Disney Plus, dropping 3 episodes this week, 3 episodes next week. Don't want to miss it." And they were advertising. I think I even remember saying at the time, if I'm Dominique Thorne, I'm pissed as fuck that we did this show that you have chopped and screwed and done all whatever for, that really nobody asked for anyway. Nobody asked for an Ironheart show anyway. but did all this. That was announced in 2020. The show came out in, what was that, last year, this year? Was that this year? I don't remember when the show came out. Show came out 2024, I think. Again, no one watched it. Cope if you want. I know that a lot of you liked it and thought that there were some good things about it and whatever. That's fine. Just because you and 15 other people watched it does not then mean that it was the hit of Disney Plus. And when Disney Plus even tells you that it was the #1 show, well, that's because they have nothing else going on Disney Plus. They don't have reoccurring series or anything like that. There was nothing else going on at the same time as Ironheart, so of course it was the #1 show on Disney fucking Plus. But even with Ironheart, they didn't give Ironheart any advertisement. They didn't give Ironheart any love. They didn't give, well, Bluey, I guess Bluey was going on the same time. But they didn't give Ironheart any love. They didn't give, there was nothing for Ironheart. And then they plugged Mephisto in. Now the rumor is Mephisto's in Ghost Rider. So Mephisto's in Ghost Rider, but you've heard nothing else about Ironheart and the deal that she's now made with the devil. So, Ironheart also is in that list. Another one, it's animated. I put it in my list. It may not be in everybody's, but I put it in my list. And I was going to put it on the thumbnail, but it wouldn't let me. Storm and Bishop. Even in X-Men 97 Season 2, where the fuck is Storm? We are about to embark on episode 8, I believe. I'm about to check out. Same way I'm about to check out a Game of Thrones. Our Game of Thrones, House of Dragons Season 3. I don't know, they're what the finale is this Sunday, but the last 3 episodes I've hated. All the changes they've made. Anyway, so same thing with X-Men 97. Where the fuck is Storm? Here she's at the school being the headmaster. Sidelined again. So she's once again babysitting. The same way she babysat in Season 1. Now, I think people get it confused with me and Bo. I'm going to make it clear one more time for me and Bo. And this is on that Black Project stuff, so I'm staying in the same realm here before I move on to comments and things. My relationship that I have with Bo, there's not even a relationship because I don't know the man. But my online relationship that I have with Bo is I think Bo is a weirdo. I believe the things that were said about Bo. I believe that he was sending himself in Speedos or maybe even naked, have you, to his co-workers and people. It was inappropriate. I believe the inappropriate shit. However, that's not my goddamn business. That's between him, Marvel, and whoever the fuck he sent them pictures to and they lawyers. What I care about with Bo is his writing. I think the man is a phenomenal writer. I think that he understands the X-Men, and just because that he is sending his peen, if that's what he was doing to his co-workers, that hath not shit to do. Now, granted, there were some things that were put in the X-Men Season 1, 97 Season 1 that were, people called it the horniest show ever and all this kind of stuff. Granted, sure, whatever. But you cannot tell me, and some of you may disagree with me, that Season 2 has been better than Season 1, and I'll tell you what's missing. I said it online, and I was going back and forth with some people. The thing that's missing is Bo. His writing is missing. His understanding is missing. We are going 1,000 miles per hour. It feels like we have taken a whole bottle of Adderall for this Season 2 of X-Men 97. We're just going. I get it. They're trying. Where the fuck is Apocalypse? Again, it needs Bo. Bo's understanding, Bo's spin, Bo's writing. The dialogue is even not the same. It's missing Bo. And for those of you that are enjoying this season, hoorah! I'm glad that you're still having a good time. I have not enjoyed the last few episodes at all. That Polaris episode, and I haven't enjoyed a lot of them. And again, I'm taking it back to what I was saying. The episodes 3 and 4, definitively Bo wrote. Now, we know that Bo wrote this season, the outline of this season, and things like that. We know that they still cherish some of his ideas, but what we also know is that they broke a lot of this season down to its bare bones. We know that they brought in the What If writer to rewrite and oversee the rewriting of what was going to be rewritten and what was going to be kept. From my understanding, rumors out there, Bo wrote episodes 3 and 4. Episodes 3 and 4 were the highest rated episodes thus far of X-Men 97. And why do you think that was? Because the maker returned. Because he returned. Because you kept his shit. But when you took his stuff out of it, now I'm about to get to Bo's bullshit here in a second to get back to my point of black characters. You're getting what we've gotten thus far from episodes 3 and 4, which have not been that great to me. Not having Bo. But however, Bo made egregious mistakes and when he was overseeing it as well. Not having Storm being sidelined and being a mammy, Storm being sidelined and being the cheerleader, being the one that's always cheering everybody on, trying to see the humanity in Sebastian and everything like that, instead of being the omega level goddess mutant that she is. She was fighting demons in the desert and then giving speeches to Bastion while cheerleading on Jean. Then you had Bishop, who, again, Marcus's words, was a time-traveling Uber who was just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, Bishop's gotten a lot more shine in this season. Then you had Sunspot, who was just void of his black identity. And Bo said what he said about that online. But as I've said, Bo wears hats. Bo's black when he wants to be. He's gay when he wants to be. He's a writer when he wants to be. And when he wants to be all those things in one, he'll put all those hats on. But it's conditional for Bo. It's conditional for Bo. That's at least what I've observed with Bo. It's conditional for him. He's black when it suits him to be black. And it didn't suit him to be black to make Sunspot black. It didn't suit him to be black to give Storm the same shine that a lot of the white characters were getting. And it seems like that same baton has been passed over to the What If writer, because we are not getting Storm this season either. No Storm this season. You're getting a lot of Bishop. Sunspot when he shows up with X Factor. Or X-Force. But no Storm. So, yeah. The stuff with Bo, like I said, I like him as a writer. I think there's some confusion with me and Bo, but yeah. And yeah, so that's I did want to go over this, but I'm gonna have to hold that because this is long. Actually, I don't know. I'll show it. Let me see, because I did kind of want to go over this. This is from Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder shared a new scoop about X-Men, Black Panther 3, Ghost Rider, and Marvel's TV future in his new newsletter, where he says, okay, let's dive right into Marvel's, and then he says, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, let's get down. Okay, so we saw the Samara Weaving thing where he said that Emma Frost, or Samara Weaving as Emma Frost per Deadline. Justin Kroll this morning, a great scoop, by the way. I firmly believe that Charles Melton is wrapping up a... I don't know what that is. Wrapping up a. Then it goes in to say, I firmly believe that Charles Melton is wrapping up a deal to play Beast, and that Callie Spaney is going to end up playing Rogue. Then he also, who's Charles Melton? Oh, okay. I've seen his face going around. Then it says that I'm told that the X-Men director Jake Shire and Marvel both really liked Odessa Azon as Rogue, but Spaney lobbied hard for the project and went straight to the director, who convinced Marvel to get on board. She's now the favorite to play Rogue, and her deep cut co-star Drew Starsky, who's played in like Outer Banks and things like that, appears to be the favorite for Cyclops after initially being rumored for another role. I wouldn't mind him as Cyclops personally. I think the Cooper, what's his name, Cooper Mead or whatever, the boy from the Long Walk, stop doing that. Him as Cyclops does not work. It does not work as Cyclops. It just doesn't. It doesn't. He doesn't have the look for it. I've seen people saying, well, Chris Pratt got in shape for Star-Lord. No, he doesn't have the look for Cyclops. I couldn't even imagine him as Cyclops, so I don't know. That needs to stop. But Drew Starsky as Cyclops, I could see that. It says, I understand that there were some hesitation regarding Starsky at first, as he supposedly gave off Big Brother vibes alongside Spaney, but I'm told that Feige eventually got past that. All right. Then it says, I think Spaney looks so young that anyone might give off those kind of vibes next to her at first glance, at least. But she's proven herself a great actress, and I'm glad that it sounds like Marvel. Blah blah blah. Okay, I don't care about that. So Storm remains the one X-Men character my sources have heard nothing about. But that's because I do believe that Ryan Coogler is involved in casting Storm, who is expected to appear in Black Panther. Um, yeah. So of course, if uh, you know the they probably won't there probably won't be anything that leaks out about who Storm is playing. They're probably going to keep that extremely close to the chest, the same way that same way they did with David. Apparently, according to Kevin Feige, because and no Scoop or anybody else can say that they knew about this because this was not out there. This was not on the table. Remember, again, David Johnson's name came in like a fart in the wind. Came in and it left as quickly as that. It was gone. Um, for 6 months, they've known for 6 months, Marvel Studios, that David Johnson was going to come out at SDCC and was going to be the recasted. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's what it is, the recasted T'Challa in the MCU. So if they've known that for 6 months, and Ryan Coogler was able to keep that so close to the chest because he met with David Johnson in a hotel somewhere that Kevin Feige said, Coogler called him, said, I found him. Kevin Feige said, who? What are you talking about? He said, I found the guy that I'm telling you, if you go back to even what Kevin Feige's saying there in relation to when Letitia Wright was talking about it, it was like it's a release. It's like they've been searching and finally we can exhale. Finally, we found someone that we can trust. Finally, we can finally heal, and we've healed enough to do this. He said, Kevin Feige said he called him and said, I found him. Kevin Feige said, who? He said, the guy. I found the guy that's going to be our new Black Panther. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. Then they met with him, blah, blah, blah. Set on it for 6 months, SDCC. So they could be doing the same thing with Storm. Could be sitting on Storm and then may not hear anything about it. And then boom. Might be gone, and then she might just show up on whoever it is. Not sure who that's going to be, but I'm leaning heavily toward I really think Jamie Lawson. Then it says elsewhere in the MCU, it may have taken a while, but David Johnson was finally revealed as a new Black Panther. Something I've been telling you for ages. Shut up, Jeff. What happened on my podcast, The Hot Mic? Jeff said he didn't know if it was T'Challa. He did. I'll give him that. He did say that it was going to be recasted, or that they were talking to a male Black Panther. But he also never said David Johnson's name. Never once did he say David Johnson's name. And if I miss that, please correct me. But I never once remember him saying David Johnson's name. He said there have been previs artwork leaked featuring Damson Idris, but I told you that his name was the one being bandied about in the hollowed halls of Marvel Studios, where I am like Carl from the Breakfast Club. What? That had a stroke reading that. What? I told you that his name was the one being banded about in the hollowed halls of Marvel Studios, where I am like Carl from the Breakfast. Okay, I don't get the reference then if it's a reference to the Breakfast Club, but he never said David Johnson's name. He never did. Then it says, yes, he is T'Challa's son, not T'Challa himself, but the character has nonetheless been recast. No, yep. I mean, yes. I know some of you are saying no, but yes. Johnson was reportedly cast 6 months ago, but I suspect the Marvel knew he was the right guy a lot longer than leading on. And then it says, we all know that Denzel Washington is going to be in Black Panther 3. That's no secret, but he won't be the only Oscar winner. It may not be a huge surprise, but I'm told that Daniel Kaluuya is nearing a deal to reprise his role as W'Kabi and set out the prior installment. Remember, a lot of us thought that Daniel was probably thinking to himself, oh, no, you're not recasting T'Challa. This doesn't make any sense. That's why, a lot of us during that time had a lot of our own stories, a lot of our own narratives, as we typically do when it comes to situations like this, a lot of our own things that we wanted to believe. Truth of it was, Daniel Kaluuya just might have been fucking busy. Couldn't make it. May not have been a thing where, hey, this is not what Chad wanted. And, a lot of us were running with that whole idea that he stuck this out because This is not, doesn't make sense. The brother probably stuck the shit out. One, he wasn't made the whatever they were offering him in the Wakabi role, if Wakabi was supposed to even be in it, if he was even on the paper to begin with, wasn't enough or something like that, or he had another project going on simultaneously or something like that. But it was never because Daniel was like, fuck this shit, fuck what you're doing. I don't agree with this. Recast the child. It wasn't that. I know that was the narrative that a lot of us had made up in our heads and ran with. But it seems like Daniel, whatever it was, is not stopping the brother from coming back in this one because Wakabi may be back for this as well. And it says, while the Avengers movies remain top priority at Marvel Studios, Black Panther 3 and X-Men will enter production within 2 weeks of each other, so they're next on the list. Sean Levy's Ghost Rider is further down the list. I'm told that it's not actively casting. Not that I haven't heard rumors. I'm told that Sacha Baron Cohen will return as Mephisto, though he won't be in the film as the main villain. And I've also heard of a potential love interest for Ryan Gosling's Johnny Blaze, an Oscar-nominated age-appropriate one too. Who's this? Rosamund Pike, who is 47, next to Gosling, 45. The South African actress has an ethereal beauty about her, and she just starred opposite Barry Cohen in Netflix's movie. Okay. It says, I'm told that Johnny Blaze will be the only Ghost Rider to appear in the movie, which is expected to shoot on location in California, Nevada, and Oregon. I'm also told that Gosling's Ghost Rider is expected to be introduced in Secret Wars. See, that's what I was talking about. If I'm Mahershala Ali, I'm also pissed. Now, we don't know if they offered that to Ali and said, hey, we want you to show up in Secret Wars. We've got this whole plan for the Midnight Suns. And Ali probably said, because I did this game with you guys. I did this dance. I did this for a year. I gave up roles. No. So he's probably just, not interested in that bullshit at all. And I don't blame him. Levy apparently pivoted from Star Wars Starfighter, I would have too, Ghost Rider, because I've had, the things I've heard about Star Wars, it's not a Star Wars thing. I've not heard anything good. There are still Star Wars, some very small people out there that are doing Star Wars news, because there's very little and not a lot of people are tuning in. And, I love Star Wars. It'll always be the top for me. But I've heard that his character in Starfighter it resembles Star-Lord. So take that with Star Wars and how you will. Ghost Rider, because his Deadpool and Wolverine star Ryan Reynolds has been a little slow to write the next Deadpool movie. Understandable, since he's been a little distracted. And now let's talk about the Wonder Man cancellation. Excuse me, now non-renewal. I'm told that this part of is a part of a larger strategy to effectively exit live action TV business. Not entirely, but for the most part. When you think about it, that makes sense. Disney just learned this lesson with Star Wars. The brand stopped feeling special. Yeah, it's not that the brand for Star Wars or what's with Marvel stopped feeling special, because it started feeling dumb. It started feeling like, what are we doing? It started feeling like a waste of time. That's why people tuned out. It started feeling like these characters are too small. It started feeling like it really wasn't connected to the wider MCU and things that were going on. People checked out and we didn't care anymore. And that's the same thing with Star Wars. Obi-Wan, brother, you cannot tell me that I don't agree with Obi-Wan meeting Leia, and I don't agree with Obi-Wan meeting Vader. I don't give a fuck how you spin it, twist it, bop it, fly. I don't care. Obi-Wan should have never met those two again until New Hope. But an Obi-Wan series could have been so much better. The Boba Fett series is an even better example. Could have been so much better. But instead we got Boba the Peacekeeper. Boba, the guy that put his old life behind him, and now he's hanging out with Vespa gangs on colored motorcycles and put in a bacta tank every time he gets scratched. And it's not the Boba Fett we saw in the Mandalorian series that took out fucking those stormtroopers on that hill. Not that Boba Fett. That's the Boba Fett I thought we were getting. When he sat down on Jabba's throne, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be some underground crime lord, mafia type shit. No. Boba was trying to make peace with everybody. Them twins threatened him in front of his palace, and he said, "I know, peace, be still with you." So it's the direction that was taken with these characters, the direction that was taken with these shows. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody gave a damn. People stopped caring. People stopped caring. Echo? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No. Echo. So yeah. It's that was a. I don't think it was. I don't think that was it. That it stopped feeling special for that reason. But it says Marvel needs to feel special, and when there are 3 new TV shows a year or whatever, it stops feeling that way. It just kind of make them good. I think, but moving away from Disney Plus is probably going to be better for them because you've whatever window you had of opportunity with Disney Plus, you've now wasted that. I think that going forward, you'll continue to see shows like What If We Didn't, and even more shows like Spidey and His Amazing Friends, produced by Marvel Studios Animation, and that aim to bring younger fans into the MCU and getting them familiar with Marvel's roster and beloved characters. What you won't see is entire series built around lesser known characters like Wonder Man. Vision Quest makes sense because the character of Vision is known entirely from the Avengers movies. I expect season 3 and Vision Quest leads directly into Doomsday. I expect season 3 of Daredevil Born Again to happen because, again, there's an established fan base. And not only that, they've already started filming for Daredevil season 3, but that'll probably be it because it's not as if people are flocking to Daredevil season 3. I think the viewership majorly dropped for season 2, did it not? So it's not as if people are flocking there either. But clearly this move, well, it says Wonder Man, no, okay. But clearly this move is about more than Wonder Man since Disney Plus has already renewed the show. Its viewership numbers had to be good enough back then, though I understand that Abdul Mateen II and Ben Kingsley don't move the needle much, no matter how perfect they were together. And that Wonder Man's powers were hard to describe because they were hard to see. They were hard to describe because they were hard to see. When did he use them? He broke a table. His eyes glowed as he walked angrily, and some vibrations vibrated off of him as he blew up a building behind him, or inside of him, or while he was inside of it, or whatever the fuck happened. I don't remember. And then he grabbed Sir Ben Kingsley and flew him out of a cell. What powers? It was a superhero show void of the superhero and his powers. It was a show about a man trying to get a movie role. And y'all ate that shit up, which is crazy. Then it says, I think casual fans didn't know what to expect of Wonder Man and didn't give the show a chance. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Casual fans didn't go see the Fantastic Four. Of course they didn't. I don't care if it was Emmy nominated. I don't care if it was Emmy nominated. Just because it was Emmy nominated does not mean that that shit was fantastic. I don't know why. I really don't get why Wonder Man gets the reception that it gets. The show was abysmal. The show was abysmal. It was a show about a man trying to get a movie role. Did I miss something? Did we watch the same show? I missed it. Then it says, but it's not a good look for Marvel. For Marvel to cancel Wonder Man in the same week, Ali is coming out swinging regarding the Blade movie. To some fans, there's a feeling that Marvel is pointing to Black Panther with one hand and with the other hand giving up on everything else black. Everything else black. Look at Armor Wars or how Ironheart was treated. Even Ryan Coogler's animated Black Panther spinoff Eyes of Wakanda was just 4 episodes. I know these are pretty simplistic supporting arguments, each with their own unique set of circumstances, but I can see how such perception might foment. Some things that Marvel PR might want to think about is nipping it in the bud by announcing Storm sooner rather than later, if only to prevent her from feeling like also ran when X-Men cast is announced. Okay. Is there misspelling in this or am I having a stroke? Um, like if it's okay, then it says like if it's here, Jean Grey. Like if it's here, here's Jean Grey and Emma Frost, and White Cyclops and White Rogue. Oh yeah, here's Storm. That's not a good look. Storm needs to be prioritized. Okay, I agree. I could have told you that just from the Twitter mentions over in the past few years, the answer to just about all of Hollywood's big questions lie in my Twitter mentions, by the way, and I got a lot more inquiries about Storm than Emma Frost just saying. Well, duh. Why is this like? Why are people acting like this is like a like? Duh, you're going to get more people inquiring about Storm than you're going to get about people inquiring about Emma Frost. It's Storm. I know that and I know that the movies Last Stand, X-Men 1, X2, even the ones with Fassbender did not highlight Storm and really show you who Storm is or anything like that. Storm is an Omega level mutant. She is beyond powerful. She's beyond popular when it comes to merchandising. As you guys know, I'm a collector of Marvel Legends. She's beyond popular when it comes to merchandising. That is why anytime she gets put on shelves, she is gone. She's beyond popular when it comes to publishing. She's beyond popular when it comes to the zeitgeist of comic characters and things like that. Storm is not just some turn the page fucking mutant. So of course she's going to be thought after more than fucking Emma Frost. But then he says, anyways, I like the way the X-Men casting is coming together. So do I personally, and we'll see whether any of these talent deals close before D23 in 2 weeks. So at D23, we should probably see some more things that we didn't. That I kind of expected. Like I expected X-Men talk big time at San Diego Comic-Con, and we just did not. So D23, maybe there will be big X-Men talk. I'm not really sure what Marvel's presentation is going to be there. I'm telling you, if they do another Doomsday presentation, close the fucking door. We know Doomsday's coming. There's nothing more that they're going to tell us that because they're not going to tell us more at any other con or any other event or anything that's not going to just give away the film. There's not do not bring Robert Downey back on stage. We know he's Doom. Unless you're bringing like Monica out there or some characters that we don't like. Even at that point, I wish you don't, because don't give away the movie at that point. So don't turn the stage green. Don't drop the Doomsday mask. Don't do none of that shit. We know Doomsday's coming. Give us a slate of what else is coming. Like, let's talk about the X-Men. That's really what everybody wants to talk about anyway. Let's talk about the X-Men. Like, Doomsday, yay, it's coming. We're all excited. Doctor Doom, boom. I tell you what, you say anything about that X-Men cast, Doomsday who? People care about the X-Men. They know that. They're aware of that. I don't know why they are gatekeeping the X-Men, why they keep doing this weird game with the X-Men. And if the X-Men are not talked about at D23, when? If not then, when do you talk about them? I don't know. So you got to bring them out, bro. You got to do something like that. So, but yeah, that's what Jeff was saying in his letter. And yeah, I caught that shit too. Everything else black. Like, it's kind of the way he was. Something else Jeff worded, another one of his letters he did a while back. No, it was regarding T'Challa when he was like, I just know they're casting a black guy. Just know it's a black. Just like, oh, but yeah. So yeah. That's what's going on. That's there's a lot going on, but that's what's going on. And when it comes to the X-Men casting and things like that, again, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We talked kind of fuse that into all of this, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I really am. Outside of that Cyclops stuff with the boy from Long Walk, don't do that. I'm liking what I'm seeing other than that so far. I'm liking who they've cast as Samara Weaving as Emma. I think she looks the part. I've seen her. I had to look her up in some things when they announced her. I didn't know her uncle was Hugo Weaving. So yeah, she seems like she'll do fine. I like the rumors for Scott right now outside of Cooper. Like I said, I think Jamie is probably going to be maybe one of the go-tos. But then again, I never would have expected David Johnson to be somebody he went to. So who knows who he's going to go to for Storm. I don't think it's going to be, what's his tall sister's name that everybody wanted? What is her name? Help me, chat. Somebody will say it, but I don't think it's going to be her at all. They're still going young, like they said, with the Kitty Pryde stuff. We'll probably hear about that. Jubilee, they're going with all of that, going with the younger cast and younger and this and younger that. But I mean, it makes sense if they're rebooting. Jodie Foster, yeah, they're not sniffing Jodie Foster. If they were, they definitely aren't now. If they were, they definitely aren't now. Too old. Too old. Charles Melton is 35. That would be your beast. Charles Melton is 35 years old. How old is Spaney? Spaney is 28 years old. Jodie Foster is... Jodie Turner. Wait, Jodie Foster. Jodie Turner? Why'd you... Not Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster is the white girl. White woman. Jodie Turner Smith. Jodie, oh, she's 39, but she's still too old. She'd be the oldest of them all. Now, the people that they're looking at for Charles, I don't agree with. One of them is Bill Skarsgård, is it not? Which is Pennywise. Yeah. Bill Skarsgård's, no matter what he does, he's got the Pennywise eyes to me. Anytime I've seen him in interviews, even looking at this picture of him I'm looking at right now, he's got the Pennywise eyes, and it's a little off-putting for me. So I don't want to imagine him bald in a chair. Hey, Georgie. For me, no. I don't. He doesn't even fit. He's too damn tall. Bill Skarsgård is. How tall is he? He's 35, and he's 6'4". Charles is 6'4". Man, get out of here. Bill Skarsgård is 6'4". I don't like that one either. But there's the other one I don't like either. The dude from Ozark. He plays Wendy's brother. What's his name? What is his name? Wendy's brother. What is his name? Tom Pelfrey? Tom Pelfrey? No, not him either. I'm looking at this picture of him. I've never seen him outside of Ozark, so... I've never seen him outside of Ozark. Maybe I'm just thinking because he played the crazy off his meds motherfucker in Ozark that's just what I'm keying him to. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm looking at because I could see it. Maybe I could see it. Maybe I could see it. Not bad. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw his name and I found out that he was, from Ozark and it was Wendy's brother, I was like, hell no. Ozark is one of my all-time favorite shows. And I think he's phenomenal in Ozark. But I was like, hell no. Hell no. I couldn't even see it, but I see the vision. I see the vision, and I'm low-key supporting this vision. Because it's not as if I haven't seen the man act. I think he's a good actor. He can bring the drama. He can bring the tears. And Charles is forever crying. I like it. I could see it. I could see it way more than Pennywise. But the only thing that bothered, his age. He is a little, he's, how old is he? He is, Tom's 44. So he'd be the oldest so far that they've casted in the cast. Yeah, I like it. Because at first I was really kind of keying into old boy from Insidious and The Conjuring. Forget his name. That was the thing for a while. What is his name? His name is Patrick Wilson. I was tuned in for the Patrick Wilson thing. I was like, yeah, okay. Out of all the names so far, it works fine. But personally, what I would like them to do is, honestly, I know some people might not like this. I would like them to just bring back Fassbender. Just bring Fassbender back as Magneto. Didn't get enough time with Fassbender. Didn't get the good stories that we could honestly get out of the MCU with Fassbender. But if you recast Magnus, of course they probably are, then someone really good. But I think it looks great. I think he looks great. So you've had his name. Oh, is my volume low? I saw that super, which I'm going to address. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm going to address all the others as well. But is my volume low? Is my volume low, or do I need to? You guys let me know. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to have Fassbender back. But you know, the other names that are out there are, like we said, Kitty Pryde, Jubilee. Kitty Pryde, Jubilee. I know they're talking about, they're looking at actors like Mason Thames, actors like you guys aren't answering me. Is the volume bad? I don't want to ignore that and discount it if the volume's fucked up, but I would say majority of you probably would have left. It's been 2 hours. The names on there though have you know, like I said, Jubilee, blah blah blah. But names that of actors that they've been looking at have been floating around for the X-Men that the scoopers and things are saying Marvel is speaking with is Mason Thames. What's the kid's name? Did you watch? If you watched the show on Netflix, it was a limited series, Adolescence, looking at him for some roles in the MCU. So they're looking at a lot of younger actors and actresses right now. So if they are, then it, you know, feeds into the whole rumor that that's what they were doing for the X-Men. They're trying to go younger. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Now, before I get into Spider-Man, well, I guess I can. Yeah, before I get into Spider-Man, let me address some of these supers, which I very, very much appreciate. I appreciate you guys for the supers. Let's address these.
I'ma get money no matter the cost. Having some water, I'm having some boats. Got that dope dick, that show lows. He's a worker and I am a boss.
Oh, appreciate that. Condolences, Mr. Inputs, sir. I appreciate that very much. Appreciate the condolences. I missed you guys too. I really did. It's good to be back. It's definitely an escape from reality, for sure. So I appreciate that.
Do it right, do it left, do it right, do it left, do it right, do it.
Vaseline Base said Disney as a whole want us as backdrop and helpers. Talking about blacks, yeah. Yes, that's what they want. They want you. It's like that Paul Abdeen skit. I thought I told you to stay in the back. Just like that. Yeah. No, I really don't know what the as I've said before. What I think, you know, the fear of T'Challa is, it's, you know, everything that I named that he is proficient in. Just the, you know, not even proficient in, but just things that he factually is a king of his own uncolonized nation, one of the richest characters ever in comics, or the richest character ever in comics. Just, I mean, everything that he is, everything that he stands for, it's terrifying, and it's not the black image that they want to portray. I wasn't gonna show this, but now that you said that, I'm gonna, like, this is from Josh over at the Dinner Nerds. I want to show this. He said this on his stream. Is that not gonna show up for me over here? Hold on. Let me move this tab then. So he said this on stream, on his stream the other day. Sorry, hold on. I got too many tabs, it's saying. All right, now let me pull him up. So he said this on his stream the other day. And hold on. I'm sorry. This thing. Let me just do it this way. What? So this thing does not want me to, 1 second, to share this. All right. There we go. There we go. I think it was about one.
The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for
weird trash bag looking suits and tries to just like desexualize the characters completely. By the way, this is something that I will always admire Chris Claremont's bravery for talking about, because Chris Claremont has been bitching about this for basically a decade, ever since Brie Larson and Captain Marvel was created in the way that it was, which was absolutely created with this weird asexual third wave feminist kind of an idea. Chris Claremont lost his fucking mind because he wrote so much Carol, and one of the best things about Carol was that she's a fucking bombshell, dude. She was super sexy. And this, again, it's just like, you don't have to agree. It's just that a lot of people had a big, big problem with it, and it obviously didn't perform well in the zeitgeist. So to me, I actually think it's really cool that a lot of people, whether they're doing it for Cooper or whether they're doing it for Cynthia or whether they're doing it for other certain characters in the X-Men, I actually think it's fucking great that a lot of people on the internet have formed a backbone, and they're not afraid or ashamed to say that the X-Men should be some of the most fuckable people you've ever seen. And that's not what they are.
Not that.
That's a part of the identity. And so
I don't personally disagree.
I just think it's kind of interesting, man, that conversation has circled this idea that Coogler would be the one to catch.
Is what he's saying right now. What he was about to just say. I don't necessarily agree with the whole fuckable people. And the reason I don't disagree with that, and you can call it shallow, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but I'm just saying, when we read these comics, even in publishing, these characters aren't drawn to be, and this is not saying like a knock on anyone's looks or anything like that. It's kind of like the whole Cynthia Erivo thing. I don't think Cynthia Erivo is an ugly woman. Obviously not. I don't think she's an ugly woman. I think she's a pretty black queen. Look at her in the trailers for Children of Blood and Bone. I've never seen her look like that. She looks fine. She was a beautiful woman. She doesn't exude Aurora Monroe goddess. And when we are casting for Scott, when we are casting for Rogue, when we are casting for Storm and any of these other characters, you need to be casting for the part that not only just in the acting but the looks department as well. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to make that sound shallow or anything like that, but like, sex sells. That shit sells. And it just is what it is. This whole Cooper thing about him going over, that the dude from The Long Walk, he fits right into this conversation. He does not fit the part for Scott at all.
Cast it. But that conversation has circled this idea that Coogler would be the one to cast it. I personally think, and I wonder what you think, but I personally think that Coogler will not do us wrong here. I personally think Coogler will cast an absolute bombshell of a black queen to play Storm. Somebody that we all are incredibly attracted to. Knock on wood. We're in your hands, Ryan.
Why did I share that? I share that because just the part about the absolute bomb queen bomb queen, the absolute bombshell of a black queen. However, we do know that Hollywood beauty standards and beauty standards to white folks in general is different. I'm not saying all white folks, but it's different. What we find beautiful in Jamie Lawson, and I'll give an example here, and you may not agree, you may disagree, and if you disagree with me, you're free to tell me that. That's fine, but this is my opinion. Jamie Lawson, this for them, this right here for them, even for some of them, would not even be a beauty standard. They might think that, oh, she's not that beautiful or whatever. But Jamie Lawson is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous in all three of these pictures here. Gorgeous in the pictures down here. Gorgeous here. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. But I feel like they would be far more accepting of the Jamie Lawson in the picture here than they would of Jamie Lawson in the picture here. Why do you say that? Yes, because Storm has to be a dark-skinned woman. That is already known. Although Halle Berry was cast as Storm or whatever for beauty purposes. This version of Jamie they might not find as attractive. This version of Jamie they might find attractive. This version of Jamie they may even find attractive. This version of Jamie they will not find attractive. Here's why are you saying that they won't find this version attractive, but they may find this version attractive? I say that because, as we all know, the closer to white you get, and she is emulating more of a white hairstyle and things here than she is, or showing her more natural kinky hair in these other pictures, like here, or the braided here, or whatever, or here. It's more acceptable. The white, the closer to white, the better you are, and things like that. I don't know how many of you watched Love Island, but I did, or watched Love Island the seasons prior, or whatever. Some of you may not. Some of you may find reality TV a bore or not interesting at all. However, I saw the online stuff on TikTok when it came to the two black girls on the show, Trinity and Anaya. There were people that were doing TikTok challenges. It was a voiceover of somebody saying like different names of pie, and on the name of the pie, you would sprint toward the back fence or wherever you might be. And whenever Trinity or Anaya's name came by, it was crickets. Nobody was moving, nobody was running. And this was on several different TikTok, not just one video, not just one TikTok, several different TikToks of people, not running for Trinity or not running for Anaya or whatever. And I wonder how people feel that Trinity is with, white boy Bryce. But I like Bryce. I'm talking about white folks feel about that. But the reason they're not running for Trinity or running for Anaya is because the beauty standard of a black woman is more Kada, and I know that you guys don't know who I'm talking about, but she's more of a Halle Berry type skin color. For those of you that didn't watch Love Island, she's more of a Kada skin color, or there was a girl named Soul on there. She's more akin to Kada's, or more akin to Halle Berry's skin color, because the closer to white, the better. So when he is saying an absolute bombshell of a black queen, I just wonder what their ideal of a black queen is when they use terms like that. They everybody wants to be black, so it's time to be black. Love using our terminologies, love using our culture and things like that, and always taking shit out of context, just like they took woke and turned it into whatever they have turned it into. So when you say black queen, I just wonder, what is their definition of black queen? What are they looking for when they say black queen? What's a black queen to them? Not to, and again, I'm not saying, when I say this, I'm not saying that my light-skinned sisters are not black queens. My sister's light-skinned. My sister's way, way lighter than me. Way lighter than me. My sister is more of a Tyreek Withers color. My sister's a queen. So I'm not saying, not giving love to my light-skinned sisters, but I'm saying, what is the black queen standard, I wonder, when you have people like Josh over at the Den of Nerds, who is obviously a white male, saying, give us a black queen. Would you accept Jamie Lawson if she came in like this as Storm in the middle? Hair kinky and things like that? I wonder. Thank you for that super, though. Let's move to the next. Girls, get that cash. Lawrence said, I just knew they were doing to child. Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's extremely unfortunate, but when you prepare yourself and you have mentally prepared yourself, I think I even said at one point in time, it might have been on Pantheon, it might have been on my own individual stream, might have been on the Morning Report when Chill and I were doing that. I said, maybe it's going to take Doomsday for some of you to finally realize that they don't care about T'Challa. They're not recasting T'Challa. Maybe it's going to take you sitting down during Doomsday or sitting down during Secret Wars to finally for them to show you it's not T'Challa. He's not coming. We're not doing that. We're not thinking about that. And I'm using E-Man as an example again, because I remember when everybody was when E-Man met with the Russos, because he was, whatever it was, he got to see the Russos. I forgot where he was. It was an interview or something. He said he got to see the Russos, and he told everyone that he showed them, as if they hadn't read it, showed them the comic panels of T'Challa wielding the gauntlet and how special that meant to black readers and things like that. Listen, even with that meaning as special as it meant to black readers and whatever, as if they hadn't read that comic, because they had been petitioning and lobbying to get Secret Wars and X-Men for the longest. Even when they were doing Winter Soldier, their minds were on Secret Wars and the X-Men. That's what they've always wanted to do. So they're very well aware of the events that happened in Secret Wars. They do not care. So that's why I tried to say that then. I was trying to say that, like, people were saying, oh no, E-Man showed them the comic that they've read. The comic that they know what happens panel to panel, probably word bubble for fucking word bubble. They're aware. They don't care. And as I said, and I tried to get people on board with this thing. There was like, people were like, that doesn't make sense. It's their movie. It's their. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what people told me. I said this then. I said, it does not. People were saying, well, it's probably going to be T'Challa in the movie or whatever, or however they're going to do it. Or I said that doesn't make sense. Why would Ryan Coogler let the Russo brothers play with his toys before he ever gets to play with them? Well, Darius, because he got to play with T'Challa. Wrong answer. I said his toys. T'Challa is not his toy. T'Challa was created in the 60s by two white men. Toussaint was created by him in 5 minutes, the same time it took them to decide not to recast, the same time it took him to make up Toussaint. So that's his character. That's his toy. So it never made sense for me for the Russos to get to play with Toussaint before he got to do anything with Toussaint, for them to muddy up his story before he got to pick up the story that he left off in his movie in Wakanda Forever. Never made sense. Never made sense. I got fought tooth and nail on that, but it never made sense. And you're sitting in it now. You're sitting in it. We're all seeing it. It's the care to recast the character. This is that they put it in. That's the care right there. That's the care. So it was always going to be T'Challa, and they told you that in 2022.
Course money, beat the charge money, fast money, push the start money, large money.
Buck's thoughts, appreciate you, brother. He said this weekend's box office definitely proves your point about big characters drive the attraction. You know what, Buck? You know what, brother? Thank you, and I appreciate that for the super. But thank you, because this stems over to DC. I know all my DC lover, James Gunn lovers, all you guys are in here. I like James Gunn. I think he's fine. I think he's a good director when it comes to certain films. I do not think that he's handling the DCU properly at all. I think it was stupid as fuck for him not to have a presence at DC or at SDCC. I think it was dumb just to do this video thing where you're talking about whatever the fuck he was talking about, because I didn't watch it. No one cares. Yes, I don't, and it never made sense to me why and probably so, I'm probably still going to get fought tooth and nail on this until it actually happens over at DC, where we're actually seeing failure after failure. But as I said, Supergirl made about as much as Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. No one's checking for Creature Commandos except for the handful of people that watched season 1. Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd, Darius, just wait to see it. Could be a really cool perspective of no, shut up. No. There's no cool perspective of Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd and journalism and no. As I said, I would have been more accepting of that in a different mindset, the mindset that I had coming out of Endgame, when I was accepting of every super. I wanted it all. But after I've been kicked in the dick by Star Wars and kicked in the dick by Marvel and kicked in the dick by DC so many times for the past 6 years, my tolerance of bullshit is very limited. It's very limited. So I don't want Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd. I don't give a fuck what they're doing. I don't want, even though that last trailer for Clayface was a lot better than that first one, A lot better. A lot better. I told you, I'll eat crow if I'm wrong. It was a lot better. Like a lot better to the fact I might go see it. A lot better. I still don't know how successful Clayface is going to be without Batman. I just don't. It's a Mike Flanagan flick and it's a horror flick and people love horror. All right, hold on to that. Man of Tomorrow, I don't even think it's going to be that great. I don't think it's going to do that great. I don't know what the film's going to be like. I don't think it's going to do that great. That's why we're kind of throwing everything that we're throwing into Man of Tomorrow now. You're seeing all these, hey, this person's in Man of Tomorrow now. Hey, this person's in Man of Tomorrow now. And I think they thought Blue Beetle and its 16 people that saw it in theaters were supposed to do something with throwing Blue Beetle. And I like Jaime Reyes. I really do. But I like Jaime Reyes, a different Jaime Reyes. But I like Xolo as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that DC right now, I think that they really need to pick their shit up, get on board, and realize that if you want to sell shit, if you want this universe to be successful or even be on the same playing field as Marvel, then you better jump on board and start playing with the A-list characters and start pulling from the C-list shelf. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The reason nobody went and saw Supergirl is like that dude said in his video. The reason he went and saw the Marvels in 2019 wasn't because he couldn't wait to go see Carol Danvers. It was because the Marvels was a part of a larger story that he was already super invested into. Supergirl is not a stupid character. Dumb movie for the wrong time. I don't know who the fuck counseled him on that shit. Dumb movie. You did that right after. We don't have a story to build on. We don't have any connection to this character. We don't have a reason to put our asses in the seats. And then after the people that saw the film, and I didn't see the abysmal dog shit movie that I've heard about. But I've heard it's awful. It looks awful. The clips that I've seen from it look awful. So if he doesn't get his shit together fast and quick, this is going to be another DC universe dead. And I don't know how many more reboots of the DCU I have or the other folks have in them. But you are damn right, Buck's Thoughts. You are damn right. Big characters drive box offices. It's not even like Darius discovered, the wheel. That's not like a discovery. That's nothing new. It's just common fucking sense. Like, what?
I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a check. Tell my mom I ain't forget.
Oh my gosh. Mr. Geek Media, thank you so much for that. That means very, very much. Thank you for the super fucking generous super chat. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. It really does. Thank you. He said, glad I caught the stream. I made BP versus Super Scroll animation since Marvel wants T'Challa dead. Oh, yeah. This is Buckmeister. Thank you, Buck. I really appreciate that. Yeah, everybody go check out Buck's BP versus Super Scroll. He made an animation on that. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, you and your brother, I believe. Yeah, Buck was working on that for a while, so definitely go check that out. There are other people out there outside of Marvel that are keeping T'Challa alive, keeping the actual T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, alive, keeping his spirit, keeping his stories, keeping his name, keeping everything like that alive. That if you're not keen on what Marvel's doing for the character, definitely go check out and see what Buck has done. And like I said, I appreciate that, Buck. It really means a lot. So. Thank you. I really can't thank you enough for that one. Thank you. Let's see. East Bay said, do you think a Toussaint-led BP3 will make more than Gunn's Superman? Anything south of 700 is a failure for the IP. I agree. Anything south of 700 is a failure for the IP. Do I think it makes more than Gunn's Superman? Unfortunately, I don't know why I say unfortunately. I don't have a stake in the game. I'm not getting money from either one of them. So I do think it does make more than Gunn's Superman. I don't think Gunn has the favorability. Okay, so let me just put it this way. I know DC has nothing out right now. Lanterns is coming out in 2 weeks, I think. They've been dropping clips for that. Another trailer I think they gave. It was okay. I'm much more keen on Lanterns than I was at the very beginning. I will definitely be watching Lanterns. I was always watching it, but I'm definitely watching with enthusiasm now. So I know they have nothing else coming right now outside of Man of Tomorrow that they're talking about. But since Supergirl, and even since these clips of Lanterns and the new trailer, how much do you guys see on your timelines? Because everybody's different. Everybody's algorithm's different. How much on your timelines do you guys see of people talking about DC at all right now? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it on mine. The only way I'm seeing the clips and things that are getting dropped for the Lantern show in 2 weeks is from outlets like Discussing Film, or outlets like Cosmic Media, or Discussing Everything DC and things like that, or James Gunn him sharing it himself. I'm not seeing mass retweets for this. I'm not seeing people discussing this. Spider-Man's still on my timeline. Spider-Man's still everywhere. Again, everyone's algorithms are different. Spider-Man's on my timeline. I'm seeing a lot of Black Panther stuff still discussing from SDCC. That conversation. I'm seeing X-Men stuff heavily. I'm not seeing anything DC. Now that could change as we get closer to Man of Tomorrow, and of course, once the trailer drops, it could obviously will definitely change things, but I don't know if it'll change things to the degree that you take the attention off of Marvel. This is why I said James should have done a presence at SDCC. Somebody told me he can't because he's filming Man of Tomorrow. Okay, and these are the brain cells that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis that enter your comment sections. Because if you're trying to tell me that James Gunn can't go to SDCC or do a video presence or something like that, anything like that, and then where the fuck is Peter? If James can't, where's Peter? Peter can get all his ass up on stage there anyway. He's the business brain anyway. If James can't do it, have him do a video presence. Hey guys, I'm currently on the set of Man of Tomorrow, and then maybe even have Corn Sweat and Nicholas Holt there with you. I'm sitting here with Lex and Kal-El, and we're filming for Man of Tomorrow. I can't be there, but we got a slate for you guys, and this is what we've got coming up, and blah 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 blah. He didn't, but see, this is why he needed to drop Jaws. You needed to drop Jaws, because it's not as if Marvel dropped Jaws, because they didn't. Their SDCC performance was abysmal, and maybe it was abysmal to me because most of the things we've already known about. Now, granted, can't definitively say we knew about Gosling as Ghost Rider, but it's been fan casted and heavily rumored for years. So when he walks out as Ghost Rider, it's like, oh, they did it. They did it. Okay, he's Ghost Rider. When David Johnson walks out, it's just like, oh, well, that wasn't on my bingo card, but okay. And then the rest of the time, it was Doomsday. And yeah, of course, Bernthal came out there and talked about Spider-Man because their relationship with Sony's better. But the rest of it was all Doomsday and, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So it's not as if Marvel dropped Jaws either. So that was your perfect opportunity, because they fucked up and didn't do shit. So you could have come in and said, boom, okay, here's what DC's got going. We've got this coming, we've got this coming, we've got this coming. And don't come out here with no Sergeant Rock. Don't come out here with no Batmite. Don't come out here with no fucking, we're gonna do some more obscure characters and giving you a Solomon Grundy series movie. No, what the, don't come out here with none of that bullshit. Come out here with the big names. Come out here with Wonder Woman. Come out here with The Flash. Come out here with Martian Manhunter, even though he's rumored for Man of Tomorrow. Come out here with Batman. I don't give a damn anymore that Reeves is doing Batman and, oh, we can't have two Batman going at once. Fuck that shit. Yes, you can. Do it. And if you don't have the brain capacity to differentiate between the two, then that's on you. But yeah, it's getting pretty annoying. It's getting pretty annoying over there at DC. So, do I think that did makes more? Yeah. I think Black Panther 3 definitely makes more than Man of Tomorrow. For sure. Read my last two comments, please. What were your last two comments? That was whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That was far up there. Send them to me. Send them in there if you remember them, and I will see them at the bottom of the regular comments. Don't send another super, but send them in that. Rhymes, appreciate it. Ain't seen you in a minute.
Big pimpin', spending cheese, we doing big pimpin' on BLADs, we doing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the very generous super from you as well. She said, just drop some love, my guy. Wonder Man cancellation disappointed me to no end. Glad to have this space to vent. Love to everyone. Always blessings to be able to be here. Thank you. It's thank you for blessing me. So I appreciate you being here. That is, like I said, I haven't seen you in a while, so it's always good to see old names. Every time I see you or I see some of our, some of the people that were here from the very beginning when I had my co-host, my other three co-hosts and things like that. It's always good to see those names. Always good to see you guys are still here and you pop in when you can. You know, life gets definitely life, and I definitely understand that. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you for that. Again, generous super chat. Super King said, "It's like we keep trying to prove a point to white folks, and we're sending our actresses that you have to look at like Picasso paintings to find their beauty. Meanwhile, white folks rolling out their best." Yeah, that's how that's why I was like, just like, what is the perception of a black queen in the white community? I wonder. Um, you know, since they're using that terminology, black queen. I wonder what their perception of a black queen is. Like, so if again, if Jamie was to show up, kinky haired here or anything like that, is that is she still queenly, or does she need to be, more accepting and buttoned down rather? I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate that very generous super as well. That $9 holla. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, let me see some of these regular chats. I might have missed Shy Town. I don't know if you put that other one in there. Mm-mm-mm. Did you all see Spider Man? Who hasn't seen Spider Man? Spider Man was great. The third act. One thing, things I didn't like about Spider Man. I wish they would have kept Ned and MJ not in it. Personally, I don't like the fact that they remember so quickly. I know that MJ says she has no memories of him and things like that, but it's a simple fact that you can still see a connection there with him and her, and she read the letter and blah, that kind of stuff. The handshake between him and Ned remembering him. I didn't like it. I wish they would have kept, it's not as if those are the only two people that Peter know. He could have met Harry in this. We could have, done Gwen or anything like that. Could have went a different direction. Could have went a different direction instead of this one. So yeah, but I overall it didn't change anything for the film for me. The film was great. I love the movie. The stuff with Hulk was great. I thought John Bernthal was one of the gems of the film. Um, obviously not ruthless Punisher, but still very much in still in the vein of Punisher. I thought they did a good job of not really um, numbing him down. I thought John Bernthal was great, though. The chemistry between him and Tom Holland, the banter between them, it was great, man. It was everything you want in a Spider-Man film as far as like interacting with other heroes and on that street level. And then the stuff with Hulk was great. How massive they made, the Hulk look in that one in the film was fantastic. It was great to see him back as Savage Hulk as well. I didn't dislike Zendaya in the film. I don't see what everybody else sees in Zendaya. This whole like, oh, she's phenomenal actress and things like that. I have not seen that yet. There's not been a movie I've seen that in yet. I don't dislike Zendaya, but I also don't think that she's just this. I guess maybe she is though. I guess she's a box office draw. They said a lot of people went to see the movie for. I don't remember what the report was. I don't want to get it wrong. Um, what did they say? They said that Kevin Feige says there are plans for Spider-Man 5, but Tom Holland and Zendaya will rest first. There are always plans. Tom and Zendaya are going to take a good and restful victory lap, which they very much deserve. Now I don't know if he's just saying Tom and Zendaya since he's pairing them together as a husband and wife now, or if he's saying Tom and Zendaya because obviously she's going to be back and Zendaya's going nowhere. I don't think Zendaya is a bad actress at all. I also just don't think that I don't see it. But I haven't seen like Rhymes just said she was good in the drama. I haven't seen the drama. I know it's on HBO Max, and I'm probably gonna put that on because I've been every time I see it, I'm like, do I want to watch this right now or later? So I'm gonna probably watch that one, um, and see her in that. But yeah, good movie. Good movie for sure. Like I said, the implications of what that's going to do to the mutants, the things that happened in this film, as far as like the fear of mutants from Jean and um, the inhibitor chip that Peter made and William Metzer and all that stuff. All of that stuff is going to play a future in the MCU for sure. So good movie. My theater was definitely sold out, and the crazy thing is, with it already crossing $1 billion, they're projecting it to make what 2.3 billion or something at the end of its theatrical run, and maybe make more. Um, it's crazy because my theater was sold out, but they already added showings, like 2:30 showings. I think we got out about 1:30, and then the lobby was still full when we came out. The lobby was still full. You still had people in line at the concession stand getting ready to go into their 2 o'clock movie, which is crazy, man. I mean, the effect that Spider-Man has. I mean, and I don't even know, to take it back to the other super chat that I got from Buckmeister, or Buck's thoughts, where he was saying, Darcy, you were right about big characters give box office draws. I don't know that Superman or the Justice League could do these type of numbers in the time that Spider-Man has done these numbers, but you definitely could get a lot better perception or reception from people than, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. We're kind of getting that on Man of Tomorrow, are we not? I mean, it's not the Justice League, but you're getting possibly Wonder Woman, possibly Martian Manhunter. You're getting Blue Beetle, for the people that care. Uh, Guy Gardner, right? Guy in it. Oh, and John Stewart's in it. Green Lantern's in it. I think Hot Girl's in it. Mr. Terrific might be in it. So it's you're kind of getting that on some. I don't know, and I don't think that that's gonna be a. I don't think that I know. I know that doesn't pool like Spider-Man just pulled. So yeah, yeah. X-Men coming from Eugene. Hugh Hefner says Spider-Man is tired of carrying the entire MCU. He needs a lunch break. Collector Rain said that Tom Holland and Zendaya finna get generational money for sure. For sure. Tom said he also knows when Miles is coming in, which makes sense. I don't know if the Beyond the Spider-Verse stuff is going to play a part into Secret Wars, because Miles is supposed to be brought into live action after Secret Wars. I don't know. I don't know if it does or not, but people keep casting or fan casting Miles as like this grown ass man. Miles is 13. He's 13. And people keep like casting, like I've seen dude from Sinners, because he said he wanted it. The boy that, at one point in time would have been a good Miles, but now he's too old. I think his name is even Miles Brown, too old now. I've even seen some people saying, the dude that voices Miles on in the anime, no. That one dude that plays him in the video game even threw his hat in the ring, no. People keep doing fan art of Caleb McGlynn. Hell no on that one. Like, what are we doing? First of all these niggas that I just named are 20 plus. They're too old to portray a 13-year-old boy next to Tom Holland. You gotta remember, Peter is going to mentor Miles. So you want it to be a child. You don't want it to be somebody that's going to be, hey, we're going to hit the bars after we Fuck up Rhino? What? No. Miles has to be 13. Not only does he have to be 13, he really does need to be Afro Latino as well. He needs to be Afro Latino as well. So yeah, they're too old. Too old. Too old. Too old. Let's get the go find an unknown 13-year-old. You know what? Actually, it goes back to what I said. I didn't say it. Somebody said it in the chat. It might have been Lawrence during one stream. Young Michael. Young Michael from the Michael film. What's his name? What is his name? Giuliano. Yeah, there he is. Baldy. There you go. He is Afro-Latino. On top of him being Afro-Latino, he is all of... See, he's so young, they didn't even advertise it. That's how young he is. He's 12. There you go. There's your fucking Miles. What do you mean too young? Too young? Too young? Cornelius, you were the one that was like championing Miles Canton. Miles Canton can go get a drink with you. Miles Canton can rent a vehicle. He's too old. He's too old. This kid exudes. Just, hey, a kid that got bit by a spider in the same fashion as Peter. I'm young. I live in New York too, but I'm much younger. And if you've got somebody who is 30 and Tom Holland, you want the 30-year-old mentoring the 13-year-old. If there's a 5 different, and I get it, it's acting. He's not really going to be 25, but the niggas that people are naming look like they look old. They look old. Even Miles Brown now. Miles Brown's name used to be a name that was in it. Miles Brown looks old now. Let me show y'all Miles Brown now. Like, I used to champion this. Look at Miles. He's 21 now. He's too old. He can shave. No. I don't want him. No. This was like a brother that might take your girl at the end of a night at 2 a.m. on Campus Corner somewhere. No. Where's Miles Canton? Hell no. What? Stop it. How old is he? 21. No. There were some other ones. I'm about to find that little picture. Hold on. Because there were some other ones. Oh, yeah. Okay, here's the picture. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they said Miles Brown. They said... Hold on one second. Okay, they said Miles Brown. Who is this one? What's his name? I'm about to pull him up. I could accept this one a little bit. I could actually accept this one a little bit. I remember him. This one I wouldn't be bad. What do I remember him from though? What did he play in? How old is he? He's 15. I could do this. I could do this with him or Giuliano. I could do this. What do I know him from though? What did he play in? Movies and TV shows. What do I know him from? Oh, Welcome to Derry. That's what I know him from. That's exactly what I know him from. Welcome to Derry. I could see this. Yeah. Okay, because and like I said, he's 15 now. He's not Afro-Latino. And I think that is a huge part of who, when casting for Miles. But I could see this. I could see that. So him and Giuliano, yeah, okay. So what's another one of the names on this list? Who is this? Who is Hero DM? I'm not, I'm getting old. I'm not hip on some of these. Who is this? Who is Hero DM? What the hell does he do? He's an artist. No. So he dresses up like Miles? Like he does cosplay as Miles? No. First of all, he looks old. Looks like he's graduated from high school. So he'd be a freshman maybe in college. This is the equivalent of saying that nigga on TikTok that's the Miles NPC or NPC. Thanks for the note. Thanks for the rose. Thanks for the rose. My Spidey's no, hell no. No. How old is he? Doesn't matter. Wait, does that say 25? He's 20. Man, get the fuck out of here. Okay, no, not him. What's another one on this list? Okay, I don't know who this person is either. He's 18, so no. But I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. What has he played in? His face looks familiar. What has he played in? What has he played in? I don't know these movies. Oh, This Is Us. I don't know if I remember from This Is Us. But no, not him either. Not him either. He doesn't fit it either. Let's see. Who's another one? Man, y'all better stop. Who made this list? Hold on. Ain't this the nigga playing Snoop? Hold on. Jonathan Davis. Who the fuck is this? Yeah, him. Oh, is it Davis with 2 S's? Of course. Okay. Now, what? This is the nigga from Outer Banks, is it not? Isn't he like 27? Close enough? Y'all want a Miles that's 3 years younger than Peter with more facial hair than Tom Holland. Hey Miles, what's up? Because Tom's voice is the same. Like it's a little, it's matured a little, but his voice is pretty much still pubescently Peter. Hey Miles, what's up, Peter? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why do we keep casting these niggas with 9 to 5s and 401ks? Who else? There's 2 more people on here. No. At one point in time, I would have probably agreed to this because I remember this going around when Cobra Kai and all that, blah, 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 blah. But, and again, time waits for no one. He's now about to be 20. He's going to be 20 in next month or 2 months. So, no. And I didn't think his acting in Cobra Kai was really, but the acting in Cobra Kai is not like, the Oscar goes too. So, but I didn't think his acting in Cobra Kai was that great. And then the last one on this list, oh shit, should have known. And you already know how I feel about this. I say no to this shit every time. No. Why would you even petition for Caleb to be Miles? I saw a tweet that said, because somebody was like, somebody in that brand new, on one of the clips from Brand New Day said they thought they saw I bet you, he's like, I think I saw Miles, and somebody retweeted it and said, so every black person is now Miles. But yeah, that's the thing, because you look at these black people like, hey, that's Miles. Same thing they did with Storm. Like Cynthia Erivo was at the top of, Cynthia Erivo's name didn't come into the Storm hat until she was Elphaba. Then they're like, oh, black, a lot of fame right now. Marvel, Storm. They're doing the same thing with Caleb. Black, Stranger Things, fame. Miles is black. Make him Miles. No. No. No, 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 no. Caleb cannot be Miles. And out of the 5 seasons of Stranger Things, Caleb's acting remained pretty much the same. Actually, you know what, Darius? That's a fucking lie. And shame on you. You're right. Shame on me. Because when Max was dying, the performance he gave in that attic, that, from my understanding, that also was not scripted. The when he yelled out to his sister and he was saying help and stuff like that part wasn't scripted. No, shame on me. His acting definitely improved from season 1 because he was one of the biggest emotional pieces of the best season, season 4. Season 1's the best season, but season 4 is very, 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 very close. But no, this thing, he cannot be Miles. He cannot be Miles. I don't care how great he was in that attic. He cannot be Miles. So got to go with either, what is his name? The Jordan Davis, not Jonathan Davis, Blake Cameron James from Welcome to Derry, or young Michael. Those are my two picks, unless there's some unknown 13-year out there that's gonna make his acting debut and blow us all away. But I mean, does the kid really need to blow us away as Miles? Just need to come in and be Miles. So yeah. See, I accept that. Give Caleb Virgil. Let him be Static Shock. I definitely support that. Eugene says yes. They need to blow us away as Miles. Rhymes said, I would love to see Caleb as Static. To me, yeah, I agree. Eugene said Donald Glover as Prowler. Keep that. Don't change that. Don't change that, because that's good. I like that. Don't change that at all. John C. said Caleb is the most famous. That's why he's getting fantastic. Yeah, he is the most famous, but also at the same time, like, what are we thinking when we think about Miles? First of all, Miles is not even that dark. Yes, those little things matter. The accuracies matter. When my cousin Q, when he was on here, and one of my co-hosts, one of the things that he said is there's not representation for people like him. Q is biracial. There are not representation for people like him that he can think of when it comes to superheroes on screen or things like that. And when there is representation like that, but you could have gotten in Sunspot, it is ripped apart and changed and like, oh no, can't do that. Yes, Miles is dark, but Miles ain't that dark. Are you looking at this picture in the bottom right here? The bottom right of that. Now, you could say lighting. Sure, lighting. But the brother's dark on all 4 of these pictures that are visible right now on the screen. Miles is not that dark. So the representation factor of it needs to be there as well. Let's pull up a picture of Miles. This picture of Miles is pretty dark right here. I still say no to Caleb, but that picture of him is pretty dark right there. I say no to Caleb. I say give it to I always wanted that thing. Give it to Giuliano, or hell, if Giuliano's too light because he's a little lighter than Miles here, then yes, I would say what's the kid's name? Damn, Blake Cameron James. I give it to him then. Give it to the young Blake Cameron James. But yeah. Miles must be bilingual. I agree. It's important. That representation matters. Jay Namikaze said, I'm Puerto Rican, so for me, it's very important that they get an Afro-Latino actor to play Miles. See, I'm telling you. Everyone always acknowledges his black side, but I feel everyone always forgets his Latino, too. Yes, that is very true. I have a friend, who is Latino. She's Latino. She's married to another one of my friends who is black. They have Latino and Afro-Latino children, and she said the same thing for her sons that love Miles Morales, that he is also Latino. She says something that she really loves about Miles Morales that her kids can relate to. I'm telling you, you may not. It's the same thing. Like for those of us that are just like, oh, T'Challa this, T'Challa that, and the representation. But then we forget how representation matters when it comes to other parties. It's kind of weird, but you forget how representation matters when it comes to other parties. Just as much as it matters to those of us that want to see black representation on screen, although Miles is, yes, black, he's also Latino, and people do care about that. They want to see that representation on screen, and of course they should want to. Why wouldn't they want to? Of course they should want to. So yes, that's why I always say when I talk about Miles and the casting of Miles, it's important that he is an Afro-Latino actor. It's important. It does matter. Now, something that does not matter to me because it's fantasy is when people say, like, this video. Let me share this video. And I'm going to get out of here just real soon, but I'm going to share this video so you guys can see this really quick. Hold on. Let me go to my bookmarks. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Damn, where are you? Did I save it or there it is?
The British African David Johnson that Hollywood has been trying to force on us for the past few years is going to be the new Black Panther. I hate this. Will not be watching it. Number one, because I am so tired of British Africans taking black roles in Hollywood. I am tired of it.
I agree with you. He is short and ugly and British, but you off on this one, homie. Pack you up. First of all, Black Panther himself is African. So most black people in the UK are like second generation Africans, bro. They've got more in common with Africa than we do. And last time I checked, the original Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace, is an American black man. As a matter of fact, the whole movie was chock full of black Americans. You have Forrest Whitaker with his horrible African accent.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I didn't agree with the dude that spoke first either. First of all, this is fiction. So I don't think, and Wakanda's not a real place, so I don't think that you have to get someone African to play. And I know that this is a touchy subject. Some of you disagree, but it is what it is, whatever. I don't think that you have to get someone African or to play T'Challa. Like I said, Wakanda's not a real place. Yes, Africa obviously is a real place, but the place of Wakanda is not. So there's no heart shaper. There is no panther protector. So I don't think that you have to have someone that is from Africa playing that role. But yeah, and I agree with what Sam just said. Someone with African lineage is a plus. Yeah, I agree with that too. It is a plus. It is a plus. But when it comes to Miles, though, because Miles is written, it's based in New York and things like that. He is written with a mother that is Latino. It is something that is highlighted in the comics that he speaks Spanish and English. He is, proud of his Latino heritage just as he is his African heritage. I think it's important. It's one of those things when casting him that is also important. So, yeah, I mean, that's just me, in my opinion. Just my opinion. What they do with Miles, you're gonna have to deal with either way. I mean, either you watch it or you don't. But either they cast a bilingual kid that is Afro-Latino, or they cast just plain old black kid and teach him to speak Spanish. I don't know. But yeah. Tails. Let's see. Tala said they technically had the T'Chaka actor who would have been T'Challa. Oh, yeah. what's his name? Yeah. The Bosco said bilingual but has the Puerto Rican accent. Be cool, yeah. Q Efner said, I think the accent would be inherently better if they cast in Africa. Definitely, for sure it would be. Lauren said, at least they didn't be like Tariq the Son. Bosco also said, we do not want a Chavez situation. Let's see, scroll up a little. SJ said, I think the acting level is being overrated for these MCU roles. Tom Holland is nothing special. Hey, brother, I agree with you. Don't think Pratt, Evans, or Hemsworth are anything special either. I like Hemsworth. I think they are special I think they're special in these MCU roles because when you watch Evans outside of Marvel or something like that, it's not as just you get the same feel or pull from him. Same thing with Hemsworth, and I've watched Hemsworth and stuff outside of Marvel, but I think he is exceptional as Thor. When he gets to do Thor the way he's done it and doing it in Doomsday, Infinity War, even Ragnarok, I thought was great. I mean, you can have humor with Thor, but not to the level of Thor: Love and Thunder. But I think that he's exceptional as Thor. That speech that he gave, although that trailer is, it's okay. That speech that he gave, though, is phenomenal at the beginning. He was like, I've fought with many soldiers in my lifetime, and all of them were stronger than all of us combined. All of us combined here in this room, and they all died. The the inflections on certain words, the tone that Hemsworth has given, he's come a long way from when we first had him as Thor. So I think when they're in these roles, they're pretty good, but I definitely agree with you. Outside of these roles, there's nothing special. Tom shows you that in everything he does outside of Spider-Man. I think that, I said it when I was watching the Odyssey. I said he may not want to be known as Spider-Man, and he may be trying, his next film is the Chaplin film. He'd be taking all these films like Chaplin and Odyssey and things like that to really bolster his filmography and, make it look like, hey, I'm not just Spider-Man, but brother, you are Spider-Man. I don't care who he plays next. He's playing Chaplin next, right? He's Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. And it wasn't that I was getting Spider-Man from him while I was watching the Odyssey, because I got nothing from him while I was watching the Odyssey. I didn't get Peter from him. I don't know. Maybe that was Tom. I don't know. But I didn't get anything from him as that character or as Odysseus' son in the Odyssey. People were I remember who it was that was saying like they got Oscar vibes from him. Hell no. I did not. The scene with him and Anne Hathaway when he's talking about Odysseus coming back and she screams, I want Odysseus, and she walks away. Her acting, that whole monologue from her body language to the way that she was delivering the lines, just everything that she's Anne Hathaway. So everything that Anne Hathaway was doing in that, I felt she was fantastic, but when they would pan to him, he wasn't giving the same energy. He wasn't giving that same, hey, Chris Nolan said he was phenomenal and thought he was great. Can't wait to work with him again. Maybe just saying that for interviews, but I doubt it. Tom is really loved within, and I like Tom a lot too. I think Tom is great. I just don't think that I agree with you. I don't think Tom is this God's gift to acting. One of the best roles that Tom had was when he played in that role where his family was wiped away by that tsunami. Act his little ass off in that. I don't think he's that great in Uncharted. I don't think he's that great in that movie with Daisy Ridley where they're reading each other's thoughts. I don't think he's that great in... I've not seen the movies he's done with the Russos. But yeah, he puts on that mask. He's pretty damn good. See, somebody else said my volume is low. Maybe it is low. Well, I'm only getting one thing here. I don't know if that, well, I don't know if that helped it or not, 'cause I'm still only getting the one. But interesting. Nobody else, I've had two people say that now. So, but that's gonna about do it anyway. It's gonna about do it anyway. Um, that is the stream for today. Um, I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that was been patient with me as I was gone. And thank you everybody for the love that has been sent, for the condolences and things like that for me and my family. This has not been easy, man. As you guys know, dealing with death is never easy, especially someone that you know, a family member or someone that you love. Death in general, it's just not easy. And my cousin and I, it's my mother's sister, my mother's sister's daughter. Very, 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 very close. Very close. And her absence in this family is felt big time, big time. There, you know, just even planning things like we've been, especially keeping my mom's sister, one of my mom's sisters, my aunt, keeping her spirits as best as we can, trying to be around her as much as we can, keeping her, you know, we've been almost doing everything together almost every day as a family as much as we can. So it's been tough. It's been tough. You know, I've been talking to my aunt much more than I normally do. It's my favorite aunt, my favorite of my aunts. So we already talked a lot. But we've talked a lot more than we normally do. I'm always just trying to check up on her, see how she's doing, because her, as much as I was close to my cousin, she was, I mean, they did everything together. They were best friends. They were best friends. So this is not, oh, it's not been easy. It's not been easy. And she left behind a daughter. She left behind my 15-year-old cousin, her daughter. So it's not been easy. You know, like I said, even planning, we were planning our annual. We typically do a family cruise, and we do a lot of family things together. And Yana is the, you know, throughout your and I'm about to get off of here. I'm done. I don't want to bore anybody, but you know, throughout your families, you have glue pieces, and and especially through my family, maybe not for everybody's family, but you know, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was definitely a glue piece when we lost her, the matriarch of our family, definitely. And then when we lost her mother, another glue piece. We lost one of her sisters, another glue piece. And I feel like Yana, ooh, my cousin Yana is definitely one of those glue pieces. Whenever, you know, I'm being negative or the family's being negative or anything like that, Yana's the one that is always positive, the one that's always telling us, let's, you know, putting God first, putting family first. Let's not, you know, just everything. She's a very positive person. She's definitely one of one. There will never, ever be another. So this is, you know, not hearing her voice and things. It's just tough. It's tough. Last Saturday was her homegoing, and that was probably one of the toughest things I've ever done. That was crazy. I've been to many funerals, especially, you know, family, friends, and things like that. My dad's didn't even hit me as hard as that was tough. So I definitely appreciate everybody's love and condolences, because no matter how much time goes by, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, time may heal all, but this is one of those. This is one of those. It's a fragile scar that you'll. I personally, I can't speak for the rest of my family, but I know I will feel this for a life, for a lifetime. I'll feel this for a lifetime. So all the love that's been sent to me, all the patience that you guys have been giving as far as me being absent, I appreciate it. I appreciate Chill. I heard what he said at the beginning of last Thursday's stream. You know, for my family and I. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate Marcus and the love that he's sent and everything like that, and the rest of you that have sent it. So thank you. And I'm going to try to be here as much as I can, because this is an escape. This is an escape. This was the first time within the time that I've been sitting up here, I've thought about my cousin. So, and I think about her all day, every day. So you can only imagine. So I thank you guys for allowing me that escape. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being as attentive to me as you were. It shows. I think I have over 100-something people in here. So that level of care, people fucking with me, it really means a lot. I appreciate it. I really am trying to do this YouTube thing. And you guys being here and showing the love and support, all the super chats, Buckmeister with the very generous super chat, Rhymes with your generous super chat, and everybody else that sent the super chats that you sent, and just the engagement means a lot. I thank you very much. So thank you guys. I'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow though, I'll be back at the regular time. Probably be that 9 o'clock time tomorrow, Central Standard Time. So appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe if you're new here. You liked what you saw. Go ahead and hit that subscription button. Hit the like button on this video because it definitely helps us out. And I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Don't miss Thursday. Thursdays are ramping and getting better and better and better. Thursdays are myself, Chill, and Marcus for the Pantheon streams, and sometimes we have others join us like Blue or Dre or whoever else might join, Tina, Torian. So we appreciate all of those people and appreciate you guys being there. So like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see all of you guys in the very next one. Peace out.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road and back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl. Oh, yeah. This is my part right here. Ooh, if I did everything, the biggest gift, the biggest. Thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.